Boys and girls, tech fans of all shapes and sorts and sizes and persuasions, welcome to an impromptu stream. I had no idea when we would get this set up because UPS was very cagey about my delivery estimate. And I'm, of course, talking, if you caught the title of this video, that my Surface Duo has arrived. Woo! So here's the deal. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed in this live stream that there are 3 video windows happening here because I'm joined by Sam and Matt of Across the Pondcast, a great little podcast that's been streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, glad to be here. I'm honored. It's first time for long time listener, first time caller, so it's pretty cool.
Definitely honored to be here. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
sure.
I think this is going to be fun. I'm acting like this is like totally off the cuff, like we haven't been kind of talking about trying to do something, collaborate and work on something. But Duo is an interesting phone. It is a dual screen device, and I couldn't think of someone I wanted to have on a dual screen setup video, or at least some kind of conversational stream. Sam is my biggest brother in arms when it comes to dual screen phones.
Absolutely.
All the way back to the G8X and Matt, we fought shipping to try and sort out how to get dual screen phones back and forth. You got to test drive my LG V50, so I definitely wanted you two on to kind of chat this out as we set up.
Yeah, not many Duo phones in the UK,
and he did actually have the G8X too for a little while. He got to test drive that as well.
Yeah, the only time I can get one.
Also faced some interesting shipping shenanigans.
Yeah, I would say it was interesting.
Something about Matt and shipping dual screen phones is probably a terrible idea.
Yeah, especially US to UK. I think that's the issue.
Right. Especially during our current situation, absolutely. Yeah,
definitely.
I've got this. I mean, I haven't even taken mine out of the wrapper. Sam, you're a couple hours ahead of me, so you already have all of your stuff like set up. But before we even get into the phone, we were talking off stream. I'm not impressed with this shipping and packaging.
No,
Microsoft is how they're supporting the customers who bought a $1,400 phone.
Interesting you say that because I had my phone at work here. This is where I work at. So here's the box it came in. Right, it's I didn't actually know if I was getting a phone or if I was getting like Viagra. I wasn't sure. It's just a plain black. It's just a plain box. Right?
God,
that was so shady, right? I was like. No, it's not ticking. Okay, cool.
I don't know if I can screen share here. Let me try and share my screen.
Yeah.
Wow.
So please ignore all of the adult situations that you might see. Mine was just as poorly packed. So mine looks like I got this like dorm room files box.
Yeah.
That's like, super, super thin and it's kind of falling apart. But then when I looked inside, they did have these little bubble pouches, but they were just kind of casually thrown in on top. I got you too.
I got one.
Pouches.
No, I got one.
You got one.
Because I'm not cool like that. They're not shipping it to Juan Carlos Bagnell. They're shipping it to some schmuck out in Missouri. So I open it up, and so here's like the box is in this box, right, with this thing on top. So as soon as I pick it up off the ground, it just went. I got. It just rattled around and went.
Okay. So I mean, apparently I got the executive treatment.
You got a bigger box.
They wrote a number on yours that makes no sense, and they give you 2 extra puffy things. So that's a plus.
But I don't understand the size of one's box. What? That is huge.
Not only does it not make sense, it's the same thing as yours, Sam. Like I picked up the box and it's just completely rattling around.
Oh yeah.
Inside. So again, I completely appreciate, Microsoft, never said anything, wanted to work with me about being a reviewer or anything. So, I bought a unit retail just like anyone else who might have pre-ordered, but dang, does this not make someone feel special?
No,
for buying an expensive.
Well, I thought that was just who they give to the peasants. That's the peasant shipment, right? And then I wasn't sure if you had got a retail box or whatever. And I was like, oh man, but yeah, at least the box was at least fairly proportional to the actual box. It wasn't like, like Christmas when your parents put a big box.
I feel Juan's box would move around a lot more inside the box.
Yeah, it was definitely not secure. It was kind of reminds me of that Ace Ventura when he picks up, he goes, sounds broken. Very likely. I'm sure it was something nice though.
Yeah, the Duo box was the other way around when they shipped it.
Right. I already as an initial impression for what we might be receiving here, all of those really pretty fancy videos from the top influencers and YouTubers, that is not the experience that you're in for when you buy directly from Microsoft.
No.
Oh, no, you don't get the pretty presentation. You get whatever leftover cardboard their receptionist had lying around.
And I did like the fact that it was already kind of ripped in the bottom. That's a nice touch. It was nice.
It's not good. It looks like a box I found to ship something to you, like on the cupboard. Oh, here's a box.
You took that from your neighbor's rubbish bin. It's like, oh, this looks good. It's
like, here's an old box I received something in ages ago. I'll use that.
Yeah, it's a repurposed box.
At the same drop off, my wife had ordered like a bunch of what are those soft box? For the cubbies. Like on my bookshelf, you can get those soft foldable drawer
insert deals. Yeah. They're like fabric, and they unfold and they fold.
And they fold the rest. Packed so much better than my $1,400 phone. Like not even close.
And you can't really break them. It's fabric. It's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, only completely immobilized, packed with nice paper. A brand new box, Target logo on the outside.
Very nice.
Like
professional.
The experience of unboxing that fabric cubby, so much nicer than pulling out my service.
Well, that's it. $1,400, shipping not included. Like,
yeah.
Will's chuck a box in that some foam came in one year.
So I mean, I fired this up as efficiently as I could. I mean, like the UPS truck is probably still down the block. I mean, it's still driving away. So I'm going to switch over to my little second camera here, and I'm going to start taking this thing out of the box. But we're going to see. I mean, like, this isn't necessarily going to be an unboxing so much as it's going to be a confirmation that I have a usable device. I'm so unimpressed with this shipping.
No.
Let me get this out of the way right here. I'm going to switch screens and let me know if I completely disappear.
Yep,
I can see. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. So yeah, and I will say that the actual box that the Duo was in, the wrapping and everything, looked to be structurally intact. The wrapper was good. It didn't see creases or crinkles. So at least that box, it is. You can tell when one's open it. The box is really well made. It's not cheap at all. It's really solid cardboard. I mean, it's a nice presentation. I thought.
I would say, I mean, if Microsoft stores still existed, then go buy one in person at a Microsoft store. But that's not a thing either. So that makes me kind of sad, also.
Absolutely.
So let's see. Includes a Surface Duo power supply, bumper, support for LTE Advanced Pro. Wait a minute. That makes like 0 sense.
I don't know what that means.
No, it's hilarious. They're saying, what's in the box, right? The whole back of this is what's in the box. And they're saying, hey, it includes a Surface Duo, a power supply, and bumper. And inside this box is support for LTE Advanced Pro. So that's pretty handy.
Oh, you just got to shove it in the phone somewhere. You just shove it in a little module. It's a cartridge or something. You just shove it in the phone.
So here's the Duo. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, like, how much time we're going to spend on showing this off. I mean, this is really more my examination to make sure that I don't have to.
You got to actually open it, and it's actually in the inner center. You have to peel it from the middle. Like, there you go.
I don't know if I can get any ASMR of
that.
But
definitely seems like a safe way to do that.
Yeah, it was actually nice. I mean, first, because when I unwrapped it, I thought it was just going to slide out. I was like, why is it still attached? I'm like, what the hell? And then, I have to open it up and then peel it from the side.
Like, this is the worst screen protector ever.
Yeah, it just comes right off, and it's frosted. I can't see through it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, everything we've seen from the influencer videos, that I still think is some of the most genius marketing that Microsoft has ever played. Larger YouTube channels. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. This is a beautifully built machine. And everything that people were praising about having a really fancy hinge, that's totally accurate. I'm digging that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the perfect. Yeah, it seems like it's got the perfect tension. Like, it's not hard to open, but it's not white, and there's no clicking. There's no
noise.
It's completely silent, and it's like just the exact amount of tension when you're opening it and closing it. It feels almost like it's not even a hinge. Like, it's literally designed as one piece of metal.
So it doesn't have specific angles. It can be anywhere.
No.
Oh yeah. Here.
And then and you can like just do on gravity, so you can kind of just hang it. I mean, you can shake it. It ain't going nowhere.
Here's mine.
Yeah, Matt doesn't have one. He lives in the
Here's
UK.
mine because I live in the UK, so we don't get this yet.
The hinge assembly is really fantastic.
I would say, I mean, like this got better, but you can see like the plastic hinges on the V60 definitely have a lot more wobble.
Yeah,
like the hinge doesn't support the weight of the phone.
Right.
It's really just sort of to prop up the second screen, where this feels like it's meant to be. Like that's a real thing. So now I'm super curious whether or not I'm like it has any battery. You said yours was about half charge?
About 50%, yeah. And then when you power it up, only the Microsoft logo on mine showed up on the other screen. It'll be on your left screen. So you'll be looking at it from the back.
So here's the moment of truth. Does my Surface Duo work after Microsoft's phenomenally awful packing job shipping this to me? Everyone hold your breath.
Check the other panel.
I've been holding my breath since you started unboxing it, to be fair.
The other side. You were right.
It's only on the left.
So it's booting.
It doesn't take long. It's going to be up in less than 10. Mine took less than 10 seconds.
It's powered by Android. That's a thing.
Yep, there it is.
And there it is.
Nice.
And it's a different setup screen. It doesn't have that standard blue Android kind of stock Android feel. It's got kind of a customized first screen. It's kind of cool.
So Microsoft had their input a little bit.
So I already, this is like one of my favorite usage scenarios with my LG dual displays, is how easy it is just to like prop up in any kind of orientation. If you want it like side by side, I probably shouldn't smack it against my coffee mugs. Just real quick, let's see. The Surface Duo bumper. I'll save this for later. I'm also not super impressed with an adhesive bumper solution, but I guess it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Did you get yours on, Sam?
I did. Yeah, it's like right there, so you can kind of see it. What's cool is it actually gives a little gap right there for where the USB-C would be. So there's a little bit gap, but it goes all the way to it. I thought it would kind of wrap around, like it would kind of like the Duo would insert a little bit into the bumper, and it does. I thought it'd go a little kind of deeper, so it wasn't so much reliant on the adhesive. But it seems like it's they don't want to encroach on the screen bezel, which is completely like doesn't start until like right here. So you could have had it actually kind of like wrapped around, kind of like like if you have a piece of angle iron where you cover it, it wraps around it. So yeah, it's
it'll be interesting.
I don't know if it's going to stay on there, but right now it's okay.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. It'll be interesting to see how long that actually lasts with day-to-day use. Yeah, how strong is that adhesive?
Because I'm also very curious in whether or not we're going to get good accessories, other case solutions. Dual screen is really hard to make a good case for when it's not already a case. And then whether or not we're going to get like screen protectors because it closes so flush. You probably don't want glass screen protectors on this guy.
No.
I don't get why everything is white, but the charging cable and the plug.
Yeah, I was anticipating it was going to be white. And I was like, it's kind of a bummer.
You would have thought it would have been white because everything else is white, but no.
That's okay. I'll use my LG accessories and have matching color tone to my.
And I will tell you, and you can't see one because you haven't uncurled it, but when you actually get the cable, it's a long cable. It's like I don't know. It might be 6 feet. Yeah,
let me do some tech reviewer hand acting. Like, I don't even know how to understand like how to use my hands with things, and nothing is easy unless it's the most common thing that's super easy. How does this even work?
So it's like it has. Does it end eventually? Eventually, does it end somewhere, or do I just keep pulling it until
you just keep going?
Time I went running after that rainbow and it never stopped.
I hate it. But yeah, it's a 6 foot cable. It's ridiculous.
You need to charge your phone by the time you get to the end of that cable.
That's hilarious. All right. So I'm going to start kind of poking around and setting this thing up. Let's see. I'm going to skip my SIM card for now. We're just going to do the Wi-Fi's. I really like this this aesthetic though.
Yeah, it's just holding it at first. It's like, wow, this is pretty sweet. I mean, the hardware is just fantastic. I'm not been impressed.
Everyone my super secret Wi-Fi password.
Well, that would be good.
I might have not put it in correctly. Let's see. Nope. Got it on the first try.
Look at that, like a professional.
Sam, what are your thoughts here? Because as I'm trying to hold this for the camera, like I'm doing bad hand acting anyway. I'm thinking there could already be one major difference in how dual screen in a case is asymmetrical, and it kind of gives you a ridge to hold on to, kind of like the spine of a book, where we don't have that at all.
No, so what I'm doing on back, see, this is where I hold it. So I'm kind of have it like this kind of an orientation. I would say about like maybe 160 degrees at this point, and I have my fingers kind of here on the back. Now, if you look at the bumper case, there's like the edge of the bumper, so there's a little grip here. So if you're holding it more like this, right? If you're holding it in this kind of an orientation, your fingers are here. But when I was doing this without the bumper, I was holding it like this, with my thumb kind of holding it on this side, and then like my pinky, right, kind of doing one of these little kind of.
Oh, that's what the bezel's for.
Yeah, so the bezels are kind of nice for that, because how I hold it, it gives me security. Whereas if I had the bezel and it was with my pinky, I'd be touching and doing inputs on it. So that's how I hold it.
Who knew you needed bezel to hold a phone? I mean,
what? That's crazy.
Bezels
make it throw up in my mouth.
And there's the waterfall. What the hell? This thing sucks. I'm gonna take it.
Where's the hole punch? Where's the hole punch?
I'm gonna send it back right now in the junkiest box I can find.
No.
Well, the nice thing is that Microsoft already sent you that. So
right, I can send it right back to them if it'll.
No, I'd find a worse box than that just to send it back.
I would.
So the other thing that you were saying, I'm really happy to see that this system update really does launch in as soon as you fire up the phone.
Right. And I've never had now, to be fair, I've never had a day one phone launch. I've always had phones after they've been out in the wild for a while. So I've never seen a phone where it says, checking for updates. It started right there like yours did. It just was like, okay, here's an update. It didn't even get anywhere past that, and then restarted the phone, and then you restarted the setup. It was kind of neat to see. I'd never seen a phone do that before.
Well, I mean, that means we're gonna take a minute. So should I do like my embargo week first impressions, not being able to show anyone how it works? And
you got to turn it off. Turn it off.
Right. I can't show anything on the screen. Yeah. So I mean, it's a Duo, and we've got it in house now, and this is an exclusive, so that Microsoft, we can't complain about the things that we were gonna complain about on all of the reviews. And I guess that's pretty. I mean, the hinge is really nice. I don't know, guys. I mean, I feel like this hinge could be like hinge a bunch.
And this
of times.
This glass feels extra glassy. It's glass feeling.
It feels like glass. Yeah, totally.
Glass. No,
and it's white.
Now, one of the things that's concerning is that this is like a little bit wide, but like without context, we can just say that this is like too wide for one-handed use, right? Like, you would never compare this to other devices, which are, kind of pretty wide. Like I'm not going to show you thick. That it's wide or thick or anything like that. I'm just going to say, I'm really concerned about the one-handed use in a total vacuum where we can't show you anything else. So that's a concern.
I know, crazy, right? Context. Imagine.
Now, I mean, I'm a tech reviewer and I have the ability to show you this context, but I'm not going to do that. Well, that would be silly, and I mean, who needs that?
Right.
Actually, real quick, while this is still doing its system update, I want to try and grab. I pulled a couple old phones.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see, like, comparatively, how wide is it? Right.
Right.
We have this concern, right? I mean, Sam, you're obviously the most concerned I've ever seen you with how wide this phone is.
And here's the funny thing. Right before the stream started, my daughter called, and so I answered the phone, and I had the phone call, and I'm just sitting there, and this is it, right? And so I'm holding this, right? And I'm holding this. This is the G8X, right? And this is it. So it's like, okay, so there's the width difference. If you
that's too wide. No,
that's the width.
Send it back. That's no. I can't do that.
And also, when I made it worse, I put the bumper on it, which adds like 0.3 of a millimeter. So that's completely ruined it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that's not stuck on, so you can take it off.
Right, I can just rip it off. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I was holding it. And I talked to her for about. And here's the thing: when you hold the phone, who holds it like this? Do you hold a phone like this?
No,
I don't.
The only time I hold a phone like that is when I'm walking with it, like if I'm carrying it somewhere.
Right, either like this or like this. I don't ever hold it like that.
Got to send the huge shout out. I left the reviews.
Jeff,
the
what's
Microsoft
up, man?
Duo perspective.
Hey, Jeff.
Forward to. If you happen to catch, I mean, no one else was talking about this. I had the internet scoop on the Microsoft Surface Duo headphone adapter,
Right.
which is not good. So don't buy this when you buy your Microsoft Surface Duo.
Oh man, I already bought 4.
Don't buy anything else. But I will say for this super chat right here, if you care about your ears, then LFA Reviews is absolutely a channel you should be following. If you completely despise being able to hear nice things with your ears, do not follow Jeff at LFA Reviews.
No.
Just don't. Just
No.
do not subscribe to his channel if you despise having the biology to listen to music.
Right. And want to care that it's good. If you don't care, Jeff's not your man. If you really care, and I will tell you, and to another shout out to Jeff real quick, I replaced my Jabra 65Ts. They finally bit the farm, and he gave me a really good suggestion on a pair of Sonys, and they are awesome. And he's like, here's what you need to get. And I listened to him, and he was spot on. And it was his recommendation.
Well, this is it. Jeff knows his stuff. So.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I'm good at audio. And I go to Jeff.
That's what I mean.
So his was awesome. He did right by me. So yeah, check out Jeff. He's got good stuff.
Okay. So this is the Surface Duo, an impossibly wide. No one could ever use this rectangle, which, I mean, again, it peaks out just the littlest bit from a phone like the V60. But of course, I mean, I guess a lot of really big YouTube channels wouldn't have known that. Because none of them
not tall
really
enough.
covered the V60, right? So that's probably a problem. Now, this is unprecedented. We've never seen a phone in kind of this more rectangular shape or form factor, except for, I don't know, say like this LG that was a Verizon exclusive, which is kind of exactly like what Microsoft is trying to do here. But again, I wouldn't expect any tech reviewers to really know about phones and other experiments and things that we've played with in the past. Or I mean, like something like, I don't know, like this BlackBerry. I mean, just how impossibly wide we would never, ever want to hold something like a Passport. Because this could never fit in pockets or in a purse or anything like that.
Right.
So
not usable.
So I guess, yeah, I mean, you would never be able to use this. Now, what I think is kind of awesome, I don't know how well this will show up on my camera. Come on, focus.
There it goes.
Oh man, we are not far off from a dual screen phone coming in at the thickness of a BlackBerry.
Crazy.
That's insane. I am very impressed. Hold on, I just want to see like when I kind of put it flat.
I kind of missed that part.
Oh man. Okay.
It's
other people have been saying, and I kind of agree with the sentiment that Microsoft has always kind of had BlackBerry in their sights, not Apple, right?
Right.
Business, communications,
enterprise,
productivity. This is almost exactly a Passport
size. Yeah, it looks almost 1-to-1. It's kind of creepy, actually.
I mean, like putting it down on the table, and it is the exact same thickness as a Passport when it's fully closed.
Yeah. 9.9 millimeters is what they say, because it's even though it's 4.8, and that's like, what, wouldn't that 9.6? And there's like, yeah, but the hinge makes up for the 3/10, so that's why there's a little bit of a math gap there. But yeah,
insane.
I mean, I look, and and Juan, look at that. Look at where the USB-C. I mean, you can see it now. There is no tolerance there at all. It is literally just a shade.
I don't know if my
bigger. Yeah, well, when you see it in person, it's like, wow, man, that USB-C port. There is literally no tolerance. It's really close. It's almost exactly the width of that USB-C port.
Yeah, Panasonic's not playing ball, but yeah, I mean, if I were ever going to be cranky about a phone not having a headphone jack, this is the first time I think I've legitimately seen where it would not have the structural integrity to include a 3.5 millimeter plug.
See, what you just said, that puts into perspective how thin it is when it's open.
Right.
Because I've never held one or seen one because there's none in the UK. So I never, no one else has mentioned how thin it is.
Juan doing me a solid by putting up the 1520. God love you.
Ooh.
So I just wanted to see, again, I mean, like we're talking about, I don't know, a 2 millimeters of width. For someone to complain about this being in their pocket, I find to be a very suspect criticism, considering all of the previous ultra large phones that we played with in the past. So yeah, that's the gig. I really wanted to do that fun showdown because I'm so tired of this like ultra short term memory. Like, oh, I've never seen something that does like, yeah, we have. That's a
few times.
Yeah,
a few times.
Yeah, look at Aditya coming up strong as always.
I love it. Aditya, no, thanks for dropping by. The salt is strong on this stream. Yeah, I mean, like
I don't know what else you would expect with the three of us together.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I tried to tell it to do the reboot, so let's see if it's doing that.
Yeah, the boot up was quick too. It wasn't like a lot of animation. The boot up was quick.
What I forgot to check is if it had enough battery. I closed it up to do that wonky comparison there.
What is the size? I can't remember the battery size.
35.
35.
I think 3517. I believe is the exact.
Too small. No,
it won't work.
It won't last. Yeah, it won't last. That is way too small. It's not good enough.
No,
sorry.
What I'll be kind of curious to see, one of the things I really want to do is use it as a single screen phone. I mean, like really focus on just like this, because again, I can appreciate people who are not good at technology, like dual screen devices. Like if you're just not good at tech that isn't the most popular, the whole criticism is like, well, every time I get a notification, I've got to open it. And you're like, you are so programmed by phones like the Fold, because if you're getting content like that on the regular, why wouldn't you just leave a screen out?
Right.
Why wouldn't you just use this as a single screen phone and handle it that way?
And you don't have to open it all the way, because you can just do the
stand it up.
The peak.
Right.
See, I
peak mode. Yeah.
So the peak. So if you can, I can try to catch it. So if you do it,
this is dirty. We're getting a peak.
See, you don't have to open it that far.
Nobody wants to peek at
adorable.
You just gotta.
That's good though. This is what I mean. This phone is not. Even if you get a notification on your normal phone, you still have to pick it up. You still have to unlock it, whether it be with your face trying to sort of get it right, or with your under display scanner, which never works. And then you have to put your pin or your pattern in. So it doesn't. It's like an extra second to open it.
Yeah,
but
I
don't get why that bothers people so much. It's like,
I open it this far.
Put it,
but
again, open it.
You don't even need to do that. Like it's glass.
No,
it's not plastic.
You can keep it
like
open.
A Fold. You can just leave it open and keep it as a glass on glass.
All your notifications right here on the screen.
And also, I mean, again, we're talking about ultra premium. We are not talking about the iPhone SE side of the market. So Jeff is completely correct here.
Yep.
I fully expect that someone who would be in the market for a productivity focused niche premium device probably has the financial wherewithal or the financial capabilities to pick up a Fitbit.
or a $50.
I will give a shout out the Mi Bands. The Mi Bands are really good.
I bought this. This thing is killer, man. This is like it was $45.
No, I mean, like you shouldn't have to with a $1,400 phone. It shouldn't because reasons.
Well, the one good thing is it gets hot on one side, so that way when you're not using it as a phone, you could iron clothes with it. You could have a little hot plate, right? Because it's $1,400. It should like drive you to work and like
that's what I'm saying.
Order phone. You know, that's what
it should come with a watch. I'm sorry.
Missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Although, Sam, how much of a blast from the past is this like black on gray keyboard?
I know. It's so choice. I love it.
And I'm just so happy you said choice because my wife and I just recently watched Ferris Bueller's Day
It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up. It was just, that's why I said earlier today when you said, we were talking to the chat earlier and you had made the comment and it was like, when I said, we're talking about, be excellent to each other. I said, well, you got to say party on, dude. You can't let that hang. You got to take it to its eternity. You got to go all the way. Be excellent and party on, dudes. Yeah.
All right, I gotta get my my two-factor authentication before I can move on here.
Oh, I want to mention I had a problem with this. So what happened was I put the SIM card in this and I booted it up and I did the two-factor authentication and it was going to my G8X. So when I would go to the G8X and I'd hit the yes, it wasn't responding. on here. Every other phone I've ever had that, a different device, it did. On this one, it just said, "Hey, are you gonna like authenticate or what, man?"
The sign-in notification.
Yeah. So I just went to the text message and and I didn't have to enter anything. It just went right in. I just put my text message to my number that's already in the phone, and bam, it was done.
You shouldn't have turned it on.
Pick up a different phone. I'm definitely screwing up my Google accounts because I'm kind of dual wielding LGs and a Pixel, and the Pixel tries to take over everything.
Right.
Which, if I were just a one phone owner, would be really nice. This is a very first world tech reviewer problem where the Pixel is too good at trying to help me out.
Don't help me that much.
Yeah, exactly. It's just pump the brakes a little bit.
Back off the throttle, Chief. That's cool.
All right, let me see if I can get the text message in. Here we go. Okay. Got it. Number. I don't think I did that right. Dang it.
Gets the Wi-Fi first go, but not this.
Well, even Albert Pujols goes 0 for 5 every once in a while. What are you going to do?
I'm so out of touch with sports ball right now, man. I mean, like, my wife and I are diehard like baseball fanatics, and like,
it's crazy.
I can't keep up. I'm way off the reservation.
No, I've been watching Cardinal games. It's just weird. I still want them to do having stuffed animals instead of the cardboard cutout things. And then I told them to take the stuffed animals and you put little patches on them and you sell those as like the 2020 situation stuff. And then you could sell them for charity and take that money and donate it to Cardinals Care or whatever, or the Dodgers charity.
Exactly. For every single baseball.
Auction them off and send and go and do it that way. That's what I do. But hey, what do I know? I don't work for them.
You know nothing.
All right. Just a second. Google Assistant will be right with me. Sam, did you pick up the Stylus?
I did not. My wife has a Surface Pro 4, so I'm gonna test an actual Surface Pen on it first and see here, because here's the thing. Last time I checked that Surface Mini Pen, I should call him Mini Pen stuff. It's like $100 and something bucks. I'm like, okay, well, I want to see how that looks because I know that I've used a Note, so I know how that. And I can tell you right now that probably the Note integration with the S Pen is probably really, really dialed in more than this Duo. But I figured to test it out just to see if I would want to take the investment of using a pen. I want to use my wife's Surface Pen just to see like what it can do and how it really works.
Is it worth it for the money? That's what it is.
I know $100. That's kind of crazy.
It's a lot for a pen if you're not going to use it.
But it's okay.
I splurged on a pen because I have no other surfaces with pens.
Well, that's why I'm in AA, and this is why Juan's in the major leagues. So that's right, because he rocks the.
I've got to sign into another account. I can't show this stuff because I actually use this.
Yeah, you'll have to sign into your Microsoft account if you have one. And prompts you right.
Surface. Why didn't they just make a totally regular, plain vanilla Android phone instead of trying to make a Microsoft device?
I know. Well, what's cool is when you do that, you sign in with your Microsoft. Because remember, when you get a phone and you use all your Microsoft services, you got like, Note and Excel and Outlook and OneDrive and all that kind of stuff. You have to log into each one separately, even if it's on the account. What you don't have to do now is when you go open up OneDrive, it just comes up. When you go to Excel, boom, it just comes up. You don't have to sign into nothing. Once you're in, it's in. I was like, oh, so nice. And if you're not a Microsoft application guy, who cares? But since I am, and that's what I use Outlook and I use OneDrive and that's it. It's
I will quote like Jeff on here. That's far too much logic, Sam.
Oh, about the pen? Yeah. Yeah, because I know it doesn't seem like it, but I'm cheap. So when I was like, hey, I already had a Surface Pen, why not just, of course, when I mentioned, and actually I did mention it to Becky that I
like that where I was like, I'm not picking up this extra stylus because I'm cheap. But I just bought a $1,400.
Well, it's because I'm cheap now. This is all I had. It's like, I could have, and I honestly didn't. The reason why I didn't get the 256 is because I use OneDrive and have a terabyte. So the 256, it was easy way to save $100. I just didn't have the cost justification to spend the money. So
yet.
Although I'm in the same boat.
It'll go on offer, $89.99.
All the family accounts too for
yeah.
So I was fine backing that off too, because one of the things I'm really curious to test is, will this surface like a Surface where if I connect laptop docks and external storage and like how does the phone handle all of that?
Right.
So I'm really hoping that because it's one of the things like you pick up an LG dual display And as much as I like the little magnetic adapter, for charging and stuff,
absolutely,
you can't plug that into another display. So if I want to use my next dock, I've got to take it out of the case, and then it goes back to being kind of a regular phone.
Right.
I'm really curious to see, like, has Microsoft figured out some of that usability so that this really might be a more disruptive laptop replacement for someone on the go.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I'm also, again, I'm setting up my pin. This is terrible. This is
the exciting part.
Yeah, right. And confirm it.
And actually, we're not alone. Apparently, Ken bought a Surface Duo 2.
Oh.
And he's actually hating his life. He's like, dude, it's like the dumbest.
I am curious to see what dongles will work with the Microsoft Duo. You need a dongle. The Microsoft dongle's no good. Yeah, so I'm curious to see which ones will work.
I have a few. I still point to all of the tech nerds, all of the people that we don't like when they talk about technology, complained about like the Pixel 2 dongle being a little bit more expensive back in the day. Yeah. Remember, Google put it out at like $20. That's still one of the best dongles that you can get if you can find the Pixel 2 dongle.
Right.
The Pixel 3 dongle was cheaper. Well, I guess it was technically more expensive than after the price cut, but yeah, not as good.
More expensive, cheaper to make.
Quickly from the
sounds about right.
This is all just your normal how to use Android, see your open apps, move an app between screens. This is actually going to be nice because
that's so good.
It's smooth, but I'll be curious to see, like, does that work better than the 3-finger swipe, the flick on an LG? Because like, how many times have you seen people in LG videos like hit that fiddly little menu and then tap and then switch screens?
And just go, gloop, or just go.
You obviously have not used this phone.
and I will have a caveat here. I actually did that like an idiot because I'm so used to muscle memory. When I had it open, I just grabbed 3 fingers from here and I went. Well, I just kind of raked it and was like, it had a stroke.
I don't have the memory for this stuff because we don't get.
Dude, yeah,
the dual screen phones in the UK, so it's like we have the 3 fingers. It's for screenshot.
Yeah, so I went with this one instead. Oh, sorry, my brightness is kind of high. So, brightness. So yeah.
Oh, Sam, you're so right. I love that.
Yeah. See, I went with this.
Is the brightness good then? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's usable. Now, if you're standing like,
is it visible in direct sunlight where you will stand for 20 minutes?
It just fired up Office. Like,
yeah,
it just did it.
It just worked.
Mm-hmm. It just works.
Oh,
yeah. And I noticed
my smartphone benchmarks. Oh, so I love it in my spreadsheet. Yay!
So what you do is you've got your app working, right? So you got that. But yeah, you just basically pull it up. You just put it from the bottom, drag it to the next screen, and boom, it moves. I mean, it's like
God. I hope they decide to bring this to the UK.
But here's the problem I ran into. So if it's on this screen, so this is the trick. So if you're here and you've got your little app, right, and it's on this screen. Okay, so it's on the screen, right? Sorry, I got the ring. You have to go when you dismiss it, you have to go to the outside of it. If it's on this side, if you do like the same. So dope. Yeah, but if you do that same right, you're just always used to going right to swipe everything off. But if it's on the left screen, if you swipe right, it's going to push it to the right panel. You have to go to the outside of wherever it's at. It takes some getting used to because I kept doing it and I would go to dismiss it and it just moves. I went, dang it. So you got to like.
Yeah, but it's a new device. There's a bit of a learning curve. It's a bit like the gestures when gestures came.
That makes sense though. I'm glad you pointed that out because it's something I probably would have futzed with for a bit.
Yeah, because I kept trying to when it was on the left side, I was just trying to swipe applications and then it was just pushing the screen and I was hearing so much about this. Oh, that's so janky and the software is buggy and screwed up and it doesn't register taps or doesn't register.
I just did like 3 swipes and they were all perfect. So I don't know what people are complaining about.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've had it for about 2 or 3 hours now and have been using apps in dual screen mode.
2 or 3 hours. I expect your full review in about half an hour.
I mean, that's all you need is like a couple hours after the embargo lifts, right?
Yep. Full review. I want to know everything.
All right. I want to see. So we've got.
Man, I'm so jealous of you guys.
You should be. We're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Fingerprint
Stupid
sensor works
Brexit.
pretty well there.
And we got somebody in the chat said he just got one. So Daniel Cook says recommended the first thing to set up. Mine just arrived.
Oh, that's kind of a nice touch too. Is side mounting the keyboard.
Yeah, and then if you go to the other side, it left articulates on the left side. It left kind of jaunts. So it's kind of cool.
What is it? It's not Wacom, Autodesk. I just want to see. This is going to take a second to install.
Sure.
God, I love using a stylus. I mean, I miss my heyday from being a note shell. It's been so nice coming back to active pens.
Shill, that's not a thing. No.
You're adorable.
Yeah, and then Drew Lips in the comments, and he's been using it since about 10 a.m. and it's been excellent. He hasn't run into any issues.
Aditya says you're late with your full review.
I know.
He's not very happy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's just
not very happy.
We're both like legit late.
Yeah, we both have kind of dropped the
This
ball.
is what Juan's going to do his full review in about 12 minutes once he's used it.
So I mean, I've already started writing a script. I need to do like the thing I did with the Pixel 4 is try and shoot a video with it.
Right.
But pressure sensitivity.
Oh yeah, because the camera is something I'm curious to see. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, it's only this," but I think it's going to be fine.
Oh
well, I think the big determining factor is whether or not this is going to outperform like laptop webcams and selfie cameras.
Because that's the purpose.
I feel like we're still in good business productivity mode.
There, that's better.
Because you're not out taking pictures of trees and wildlife.
Right.
With that,
and Mauricio's video is saying that the vessels, talking about the bezels, are that's the bezel. I mean, it's there.
Bezels are useful.
Well, and here's the thing:
for holding things
holding it like this.
Here's when I was holding it like this. You know, when I was holding it, if you got your thumb here, your thumb is right where you're not going to input. If you're holding it like this, like when I'm holding the device, I hold it like this. So on the back of the phone,
that's it.
I really like, because I love it when people who are more into folding phones show you content that spans the hinge, right?
Google Maps.
Like, oh, yeah, what could you do? I mean, the hinge gets in your way of all of your content. But if you hold a dual screen phone vertically, it's fine. And it's really hard to hold like a V60 vertically because there's nowhere to hold it.
Right.
And you don't have that ledge from when you're holding the two screens in portrait mode. So this actually helps tremendously. I can see myself scanning websites, like if I wanted one big view, and being able to really hold on to this on the bezels here on the side. So I
didn't even fire up the camera, and when you do it, it gives you it tells you how to use the camera. How to take a picture. Yeah, it tells you stuff. Like here.
You mean it's useful?
Yeah, here it's like, well, we realize you're probably coming from a standard phone. This is not a standard phone. Actually, and Panos would probably come in here and kick me in the face because it's not even a phone. It's really a device that has phone capability. So it tells you how to do it.
It's a phone. It's very specific.
Right. So let me see if I can. I mean, this is going to look terrible on a live stream. Live stream. Let me see if I can.
I love how hard you just, because you've got the bumper on. You just went.
Oh yeah,
you didn't even give a shit.
Well, and here's the cool thing about it: the bumper's not really even like if you look at the bumper, it's really not. There's no resivity, as Flossie would say. There's really not a lot of It's just pretty flat. I couldn't think of a better word. I had to post it.
No. So I'm
Maximum Slam Boy certified.
Right, and what's cool about it is
because that is the correct word.
Right,
there is no other better term for that.
So when you close it, what the cool thing is, because of the way the hinge, again, like I was telling Juan, it's like the perfect amount of tension, like there's no like difference in the tension. Like no matter how close you get to it, it's not like it gets weaker. It's still the same tension until right here, and it's done.
That's pretty.
It's just, and I'm telling you, and how much of a baller are you going to be? Like you're in a meeting, like Teams is done. You're like, yeah, watch this. I'm out, bitches. Yeah.
All right.
And plus,
the thing is,
you can actually hang up the phone and get pissed off now because you can go, you know what? Screw you. And you can do that.
You are just getting so hyped. But I'm curious about screen protectors. That is,
who is that ugly guy with that stupid hat? Oh, that's Juan.
Well,
sorry.
And let's look at how sweaty I am. Ready?
You got the sweat bubbles. That is baller.
Have you ever noticed he has a punchable face?
I know.
And not only that,
I've never noticed before.
It's doing a remarkably good job of finding that dark spot where I took that airbag in the face. That's not terrible.
Again, if you're buying this phone, to crush awesome details and night modes and all that stuff, this is probably this is gonna disappoint you probably. I think the pictures are perfectly usable. I'm okay with using a BlackBerry Key 2 and having pictures that are shareable on instant media.
I'll fight anyone. I still have some of my all-time favorite photos of my daughter. Like the Key 2 took some familiarity. Like you had to kind of get a feel for, oh, this is a situation where it's absolutely going to bone this photo. Like it took some experience, but in most of the general average consumer situations where you just want to pull it out, take a quick snapshot and put it back in your pocket, Key 2 was fine. It was an absolutely fine camera, and I had no issues getting good shots out of it.
Yeah.
Thing is, now most phones, the camera is fine. It will do the job you need it to do.
It's got slow-mo.
It's got slow-mo. Nice.
It's got slow-mo. And
you can 60 frame per second 4K too.
And actually you can toggle it. There's a 120 frame per second slow-mo and a 240 frame per second slow-mo.
Okay, I will say this is a very early sort of nitpick with so much going on with gestures. Anytime you've got like an upper corner mounted control, the phone is very eager to start pulling a notification.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It is a little twitchy. That will get just a bit trying, that you have to be so precise where you're touching to start a gesture.
Yeah, it seems like you have to kind of go right directly, like at a 90 degree you have to go right to it.
For sure.
If you kind of come up and just kind of slide swipe it or whatever, you get into it, you got to be really kind of specific about.
I see Andrews is asking if you can save photos in RAW format.
Let's take a look. That's a very good question. I don't have an answer for you. Let's see. So here I jumped into video, and we've got 1080, 1080 60, 4K 30, 4K 60. So that's fine.
Photo size.
Photo size. I don't think we've got any controls here for. We do have controls for HEVC though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can do 264, 265. Yeah, for sure.
I'm dubious. Color me skeptical of extended dynamic range on the video on the camera sensor, but I'll give that a try later. I definitely want my grid 3x3, and I don't see anything for. Yeah, I don't see anything for RAW, but let's see if we can add it.
Which isn't surprising because it's not a camera focused phone. It's giving you the app, but it's not worried about anything else.
It'd be interesting to see if we've at least got the capability though. So let's at least see if they followed the API correctly so that we can get RAW photos out of it.
Be nice if you can, because it's a Surface device.
Oh, for sure. Continue. Let's see. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll be able to use other apps if we want to get that out. And I'm sure at some point someone will try and slap on like a Gcam. Yeah. And then in the settings on Gcam, you'll be able to pull a RAW if you absolutely need a RAW photo out of that. So I'm not concerned about that at all. Again, I mean, like my benchmark for this is, will it at least hang with the selfie cameras on other premium phones? And we keep giving other phones like the OnePlus 8 Pro, the selfie camera is just okay. It's not bad, but it's not a great camera. And as long as this is in that ballpark, I'm going to be fine with what Microsoft might try to do here. Look. Hey. It's me on a video.
It's me, Mario. I'm back.
It's Juan's version of TKception. This is what's happening.
Cameraception. Yeah, we've got slow-mo at 240. I'm assuming that's going to be a 720p slow motion. We've got video, photo. Focus performance seems to work pretty quick. Exposure slider. It does look like it's trying to overexpose a little on a darker subject. So it's not doing like the most matrixy kind of metering, but that's fine. Kind of poke on me. Yeah, that's good. Oh, let me take a portrait shot real quick.
Sure.
Oh, I don't want that light. Hold on one second. This is awesome podcasting on
This is what it's all about. It
Now,
is.
here's what's tricky is because I like to wear hats.
Right.
Yes. But that
So
tests the camera's true.
Right. And that's not bad.
No, it looks pretty. That looks pretty clean.
Only fuzzed out
Right at the top of the crown.
The focus right at the top.
Yeah.
Right
I'd call that better than some flagships, definitely. Most flagships.
Considering where, I mean, I just finished doing the main timeline for my Velvet camera review. It took me way too long to finish that camera deep dive. That's better than what Velvet can do. So we're at least beating some of the mid-rangers. Yeah, that is not.
It's pretty good.
Because look at all of like the busy, and the only thing it gets kind of wrong, which no camera gets right, is not detecting the headphone cable. It's cutting out around my shirt.
Yeah.
Every camera gets that wrong. That is not awful for a terrible indoor selfie.
No, that's pretty good.
With that. And then panorama. I mean, like this is fine. This is gonna go right up there where I'm frustrated that everyone who got the phone early just writing off of the spec sheet, the camera's not good enough. And you're like, this thing is not gonna hold anyone back. I'm already feeling pretty confident that this is gonna be not the best camera.
I want to see Sam
the best camera, but
no, Sam, do the show on Sunday using the Duo.
I can try.
If you have a dongle. I mean, obviously I don't know if you have a dongle in your lying around anywhere.
I don't think
because apparently you don't get the dongle in boxes anymore.
Yep. And if you're going to be getting other phones, you may not be getting chargers either.
and don't get this dongle. See,
no,
this is what it looks like.
Get any other dongles. Fine.
Oh, let me go back into the other camera view so I can get a better close up of this. We'll do this right. So this is the Microsoft Surface Duo dongle. Do not buy this. It is bad.
Okay. I think
good. Okay, right.
I think I got it. Okay.
Great. Okay.
So go out and buy it tomorrow. No.
Basically, what we're trying to tell you. Well, what should I buy in its stead? Practically any damn near else dongle you can think of. Get that.
So again, on recommendation of some of the guys in the Discord, I reached out to the folks at FIO. So I was planning on just doing kind of a round robin, and this is so good. I really need to do a full review of just this. This is the FIO BTR5.
Yeah.
And so it can work cabled, like you can plug it in on a USB-C cable, or it also supports aptX and LDAC over Bluetooth. And the amp is pretty good. It does a reasonably good job, not like super awesome audiophile, but like it does a reasonably good job of powering some of my thirstier cans, like my 770s and my planar magnetics. If you're really into that audiophile, you'll hear like, oh, this isn't quite driving them like it should, but passable enough for something that is this small.
Yeah.
As soon as you cut out a premium headphone jack from a product, you've just lost around $100 to $150 feature.
Right.
As soon as you take out the headphone jack, you might as well just add $100 to the price of your phone if you care about treating your ears.
Yeah, and like I said, and to your point, I'm glad you made that point too about the headphone jack. Is with this phone, you can't really make the argument at this thinness that you can get a headphone jack successfully in here without
which nobody mentioned. This is I didn't know how thin it but you're saying there's no give on the USB port.
I mean, if you look at the USB, I mean, you can ask Juan. There is like the little thinnest bit of metal at the edges to the frame. But I'm telling you, man, there is.
You just go like that is a normal.
Yeah.
There's give either side.
It's so thin, and
now
I'm not
looking at that, I can just imagine how thin it is.
That's
just looking at.
All right, I'm gonna fight my Panasonic here. The Panasonic autofocus is not the best.
Yeah,
it's not agreeing with you.
And I'll tell you this much: it's so thin, that metal, and Juan can probably. If I had a really decent pinch, like if I had a real good force, I'd almost feel like I can dent that. Like I could almost make that dent. It's that thin. So I think you got to be really. That's the only thing I'm worried about too is when you're inserting. You know how you always you just jam it in there, bam, bam, bam. I think over time that thinness there could cause an issue. So when you're plugging it in, you might want to take a little bit more care of not just kind of forcing in there because there's not as much metal. If you hit that right, if you're at an angle, like a little crooked, and you hit that thing, you actually might dent that metal. That's how thin this is. That's the only thing about this. I go.
And let's be honest, if you're spending $1,400, you need to look after the phone.
Yeah, you got to be.
So, I mean, I agree. But if I'm spending $1,400 on something that's got a business grade reputation, like we're not talking about a Lenovo IdeaPad, we're talking about a Lenovo ThinkPad, and there's a certain brand reputation that comes with durability and productivity, and I pull this out of my pocket and I hit my stylus and I scribble down notes and I put it back away and I get on with my day with my big important meetings and my really fancy conference calls. And that to me is a fair criticism. If, man, I got to plug this in, I've got to keep going, I've got a little battery, or I'm putting it as my nighttime bedside clock while I'm traveling. I go to jam in a USB-C cable and I'm off by a little and it could dent the frame, is something that I feel is totally a worthy criticism or potential issue.
Definitely. But then they'll make it thicker next gen, and then everyone will, it's too thick.
Yeah, and
I'll be curious because, like, I don't know that you can put in a better camera sensor without more depth.
Right.
Like this is coming in almost at the same thickness per screen as some of the raised camera bulges on
Note 20 Ultra.
Yeah, exactly.
That thing is massive.
I love it that we've kind of coined this as a fanatical. Like when Steve Jobs was all about like making the product. Well, I mean, it's this attention to detail, but like Microsoft, it's fanatical thinness. And you're like, okay, all right, I get it. One company wins, I guess. But I'll be curious to see if, like you're saying, will they add a millimeter to either side to like pack in a larger battery?
They were going for thin. When it was closed, they wanted it to be thin, to be
that was
not a fold. When you've got a fold shut, it's a thick boy. Like Surface, they wanted it to be sleek. They wanted it to be a Surface. They want it to be sleek, slim, designed well, looks good.
But I would say that you don't have to get a little bit more one. You can probably make it. But here's the thing. Here's my argument for you don't have to go much to get it to work. There's a G8X. What do you not see there? Nothing. Right. There's no, and you got two cameras in there, a wide angle, right? And it works on a G8X. Now, granted, this is thicker, but don't tell me you have to have that big old banging camera module to get a decent camera. That is not.
No, because they can make the battery.
But again, if we're specs junkies and we're reviewing a product not by how it actually functions, but by looking at the spec sheet, then the G8X would fail because it's using the older camera module, which was smaller. Right. Remember, that's a 1/2.55 inch camera, and what we need is a 1/1.7 inch camera. And so, if you don't have the biggest cameras, it's not worth it. Even though it's still perfectly capable cameras.
What you've just said is what is worrying me. Are we heading towards who's got the biggest camera hump?
We always
wins?
have. I mean,
this is going to get ridiculous.
Well, we move the goalposts because it's like megapixels, and then suddenly that's the only measure, and then it's night mode. Oh, well, this phone has a night mode, then it's worth it. So now it's like we're back to 48 and 64 megapixels, but that's not real. It's pixel binning.
Megapixels aren't everything, because you've got these mid-range budget phones that are 108. That doesn't mean it's got a really good camera. That just means that it's got a marketing term that they don't know how to use. Like Sony did it right. They what are they? 16, 12?
They're 12s. Yeah,
12.
They're on match 12.
So they're not, but they know what they're doing.
Well, and again,
so if you've got Sony doing it, you shouldn't be going 48, 100 if Sony are thinking 12's good enough.
But it's funny because when you look at how the perception of that marketing has kind of infiltrated, I was in the Sony Xperia subreddit, and there was this whole thread on like, well, why is Sony using an inferior camera on their own phones? I mean, we've been doing 12 megapixels forever. And you're like, you would think Xperia owners would actually know or care.
Yeah.
Like, that's hilarious. You really? Oh man, all you did was count the megapixels? It's like I do whole videos about it.
I need more coffee. I can't handle the subreddit. I need more coffee. I can't handle
it, man. Subreddit.
They're professionals.
Professional what is the question? I don't know, man. But you would
They're
think
professional tech people
Sure.
who know what they're talking about. I'm keeping these up while I'm talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone hasn't noticed, this entire stream is nothing but big bunny rabbit ears as we talk about things.
Oh,
who wants to see moment of truth for what happens when we plug in an HDMI adapter? Anyone?
Yes.
Might as well. Might as well. Bueller.
You've not tried yours, Sam.
Economics. Something VOO economics. All right, let's see. I see a little blue light on my adapter.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything. It says it's charging the device. All right, let me try and switch over to my screen share here. I'm not as good at this as TK is. Like, I need TK setup where he can like multi-camera and then do like an HDMI input. Like I'm doing all this like with spit and duct tape.
Right.
So let me see if this.
I do like this though, Juan. If you've got that looks pretty nice.
Okay, so this makes me happy. It treats both screens as one extended display.
Right. No seam in the middle. Do you see it?
No,
seamless?
and that's critical because it's not pulling from just one side. Oh, I like this.
That looks good.
I am okay with this. So there's no desktop mode, but you really wouldn't
need it.
No, because what you've got is a desktop mode, basically, anyway. Just built in.
Okay.
What is this? You multitask. This is witchcraft.
Who are those ugly bastards? Oh, it's us. Oh, that was that's pretty good, man. I mean, like I said, it looks like it's, but it looks like it's only got 6 gigs of RAM. This can't be done. This can't be possible. Can't be doing it with this kind of. We need 12 gigs. 12 gigs. Minimum.
But that's the shit is like this looks like Windows. Like when you drag a window to one side of your monitor and it half screens it.
Yeah,
it's functioning just like that. Oh,
that's impressive. I can see why they didn't bother with a dedicated desktop mode because they don't.
I wouldn't turn it on.
Don't need to.
No.
The integration is perfect, seamless through and through because it's what they do.
Oh, let me make sure the sound doesn't like kick on or anything like that. What is
this? Is way better than Dex.
Oh, get the hell out.
Okay, I like that.
Nice.
Wow, that was pretty cool. I have to admit,
Dex has left the chat.
You've built the operating system for the phone well enough that you don't really need Dex.
Yeah.
That's Windows. Microsoft know what they're doing. That is so good.
Oh, this makes me so happy.
That's cool.
This is really weird because we're talking to you, but also watching you on a video. It's so weird.
It's weird. It's like Inception. What's like? Am I watching Juan?
I don't know.
It's sleeping, watching Juan. Sleeping, that's watching
Juan.
What is
his mouth is moving, but his voice is not matching.
And when I want to like switch out, it's like 5 mouse clicks. I have to like switch the menu settings.
So that's really good. I'm really, really impressed with that.
That's a good implementation of it. Yeah,
they didn't even try. They just made it and went, "There you go. We're Windows. It's what we do."
That is. Someone brought up on the Discord, and I apologies. My brain is Swiss cheese, and I'm trying to juggle all this stuff in the air. Unfortunately, that means you will see content hidden by the hinge.
Right.
So it treats the gap of the hinge as space that would have been a part of the screen. It doesn't separate. Like on a V60, it splits the image and then there's the hinge in between.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like it's treating both displays as one unified display, but then the gap where the hinge is are like dead pixels on that display.
Yeah.
So at least if we plug this into some other kind of monitor, like I'm telling you, this is going to be so awesome when I want to fire up my next dock.
Oh,
like, that's going to be insane. Having Windows style split screening, being able to drag back and forth really, really easily, and then full screen is going to be completely uninterrupted as one giant canvas is going to be awesome. That's huge.
Yeah, and here's the one thing I noticed when I always go is the first thing I do in my phone when I do is I go developer options and I turn down the animations to 0.5 because that's what I do. But when I was doing that, look what I came across.
What do you got?
It says, hold on.
Oh, does it do that thing when
I'm learning?
Oh yeah,
right
I
here.
had a phone that used to do that when you hold it.
OEM unlocking. Allow the bootloader to be unlocked. So for all you people who are out there thinking that you might be able to, at one point they'll have rootable and ROMable kind of thing, I think the Surface has an unlockable bootloader. That's going to be pretty cool.
I got to get into because what I also want to try real quick.
Quite interesting to see.
I'll go into screen share and stuff. Oh wait, where's the? I'm trying to get my. Oh, where is it? I can't get my developer options.
It's the build number is at the bottom.
There we go. That's right, because you got to do it from the right side.
Yep.
And then I got to put in my super secret password.
God,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the same combination on my luggage.
You beat me to it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
I'm just gonna say that.
But Rod's like this. He's like,
you got to be quick when Sam's here. You got to be.
for being like cranky men movie references from the 80s. Yes.
Oh yeah. I know. And here we go. You said the 80s, so watch it. DT is going to get in here. He's going to act like,
oh my God, he's already here.
Wasn't your original language like Aramaic? Yeah, right. Shut up. I know. Dude, he loves to just give me trouble. Yes, it is Oktoberfest.
About your age, yes.
Damn, I was hoping that nobody caught it. I have a Sam Maddox Oktoberfest and Andrew caught it. Oh, it's so nice. I love this stuff.
You've been out of beer for a while. I was really thinking about pouring a nice bourbon to celebrate this, but I didn't want to get all set up and then open this up and find that it had been busted because of Microsoft. Absolutely.
Because then you'll need the bourbon.
Yeah. So, honey, this is a new screen protector. It looks like it's cracks. Is that? Oh no, that's just the screen's busted. Okay, well then that came to the. Okay, never mind. Okay, cool.
See, don't look at the credit card bill.
Yeah. So yeah, that I love. And here's the thing I noticed too. And somebody's asking about the Microsoft Launcher app compatible with the suit. Yeah, it's actually running the modified version. It's not the original. It's like the modified version.
Android, yeah.
Right. And I noticed too that, and unless I have to keep digging on it, I haven't seen support for icon packs on the launcher. I haven't seen that yet. So I don't know if it will allow, because I always get a launch. Because I figured, well, if it's a launcher.
Well, you got to look. It's still a phone at the end of the day. Yes, they're
because when I treat
it more like a Surface.
It doesn't give me. It doesn't. It has widgets and wallpaper change. It doesn't really.
But it's because it's a Surface. They're aiming for that kind of thing. I suppose these things might come later. They're still ironing out a lot of it anyway. So I'm assuming that they might add stuff in a bit, icons, and I'm curious how a launcher would work, because I know on LG it's only on the main screen, and then the secondary screen has the LG UI. So I'm curious if one is compatible.
Yeah,
how would it work? Would it treat it as one display, or would it treat it as two? Or
I don't know. That would be interesting.
Then you've got, will the gestures still work? The swipes, because I know even navigation gestures don't work with third-party launchers at the minute. Google's step one. So there's a lot in the air. There's a lot of questions that you could ask about gestures and launchers in general.
Reviews out. I'm sure all of those questions have been answered.
Oh,
right?
Definitely, because they will definitely cover launchers.
Yeah, Dave's asked about how's it
general curiosity for most people who have a phone. They like to customize it. That's the point of Android. So launchers are a part of the software. So you should be answering that question.
Hey Sam, have you found a way to do split screen on one screen?
No.
Oh yeah, 4 apps open at a time, both screens.
It doesn't look like we can.
Ooh.
No.
So I asked
not yet.
Force apps to be resizable. It does really look like this is.
Oh, it can't do it.
Yeah, only
the Fold can.
So like
the Fold can do it. So what? There's no excuse.
What was the photo that they shared of like someone trying to play a game in the aspect?
Oh God! Every time you see a Fold image or video of people having 3 things up at once, it's always stupid stuff like Twitter, YouTube, and Amazon. Like, when are you doing all 3 of those things together?
So whenever I try to long press, And now it's I wiggled too much.
Hey, look at the
It gives me some app info, but it doesn't give me the ability to.
No.
Oh, so it's not.
Calculator. Look at that. Perfect.
Seems like this device would be perfect for a 4-app multitasking, as it's a Surface, so it's aimed at professionals. So that would be something you'd think you'd be.
See,
although, I mean, because these cut so. I mean, like you would have like mini 16:9 corners. I can appreciate that. That's not probably the big hook, but I'd really love to do the thing that I've been doing a lot on my LGs, where I have to run an older version of Netflix to do it. But the lovely Netflix. So when you do the multi-view, all right, let me pull up something that I would have underneath. What I think is kind of cool, especially on taller phones, is just docking Netflix right at the top quarter.
Yeah.
And then having a regular phone. This is technically like 15:9 underneath for a regular phone to kind of keep other things going at the same time. This works so much better than picture-in-picture. Like using an iPhone makes me kind of want to throw up in my mouth, because you've got that stupid little thumb stamp, stamp video that you've got to move around. It's always blocking something. This is been way more practical. So I'd still like to be able to do something like that. And you can still see it on the Duo. Because picture-in-picture, it's too small. If you're watching Netflix, picture-in-picture is... You want it to be a decent size at the top so you can still see your content. For sure. It's barely functional as like the Netflix podcast mode, where you just want to turn a documentary into a podcast, and you've got this annoying thing that's always in your way on your screen. It'd be nice if the Duo could do something like that, but I kind of understand. I mean, I would understand why they wouldn't. It doesn't mean I still wouldn't want to do it. If only there was a way we could look back at the Duo in 6 months' time. No, today's the last day. I think, if there was only a way we could go back and have a look to see how the software has developed over the time. No, pie's been baked, man. You can't unbake that pie. Right. No. Final verdict. I mean, came out today. It'd be nice, but it's not possible. Okay, so someone's asking if I've tried. Oh, sorry, the live chat just moved on me. Who's that? Someone was asking if I tried Netflix, which is obviously no, because you've been watching this train wreck of a podcast, of a live stream the entire time. Let me install it. Let me see if I can get Netflix to play on one screen and then not pause when I use something else.
I have Netflix installed, but I haven't even set it up yet, so I'm going to do that now. Find something to download. Okay, so I'm just going to Trailer Park Boys, because that's good to start with. I'm so glad I can contribute to this. Okay, so there's Netflix. Right, there's Netflix running.
I was about to make a really salty comment.
And then
this is the salty stream. It's fine.
There it goes. Yeah, there's Edge.
Okay, so
other channel. And it's still running.
Netflix still runs.
Still running.
And have you got another app and open on the other screen?
Yeah, I've got Edge open on this side. So there's Edge there, and then there's Netflix. I can't, because I got this stupid light here. This one's got a way better setup than this.
I'll be curious to see if it's like Netflix is working at the minute, but then if you open, say, Amazon or something,
look at this one. Check it out. There's your
dude,
and then there's this.
That's a nice size screen as well at the top to be watching.
Look at that. Look at that, and that's just moving.
That's nice.
That's nice.
Now you don't need multitasking.
No, and then you can just put it like this. You just put it over here, and just boom, you can sit.
How you were just showing it on the LG, having it that way around. That's just like a bigger version. There you go. That's nice.
Tent it up, and then you can show somebody a video, and you can still work. So they can be watching whatever dumb video you're doing on this side, and you can still.
And that's rotated on the other side. So auto rotate has worked on both screens, and whilst it's folded in a tent.
Yep.
That's.
Though that does drive me a little crazy.
When people say it doesn't work, they're lying.
On the Duo when Netflix killed that in the last update on the LGs.
Yep.
But now that Sam, that is good, because your screen is big enough to actually really still see your content. and you've got the other screen completely free to do with whatever you please. Who knew that would be useful?
No.
I can guarantee you now, no one else covering this phone will actually mention that.
No, gimmick. It's not on an iPhone. It's a gimmick.
Well,
until Apple invents it,
it's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Hey, Apple are going to invent the folding phone soon. So
I guarantee if this was an Apple product, people would be falling. There'd be lines. People would be falling down.
Yeah,
and
if that badge was an Apple badge, all these problems that they've got,
they would say,
well,
it's a first-gen product, so we're expecting Apple to have to, give them some time. They'll figure it out.
It makes me so happy to see that dual display functionality is back. Driving me nuts that it was broken on my LGs. This is like one of my favorite things to do is stream a video while doing something else.
Right.
And when they broke that, I had to jump through hoops to figure out a way to fix it on my LGs. It drove me crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, at least that's back. That's better.
For a first generation product, it
doesn't feel like a first gen product.
Really streamlined. No, it for a first generation product, you'd expect it to be plastic on the back and all this, that, and the other, but it's not. It's them waiting to release it has done it a really, really good job with it. They have done a really good job with
it. I definitely feel like it's going to be fair to have criticisms.
Of course. If you don't, then there's something wrong with you.
But I'm very frustrated by a commentary or a conversation where it's like, well, here's this one arbitrary criticism deal breaker. Wait for Gen 2. Maybe better luck next year, Microsoft. I mean, that's that kind of smug spec sheet reviewer commentary that I'm not super impressed by. Is that it's okay to say that I have every expectation that this is a niche productivity product that is going to be, the success of this is going to be defined by people who like the Surface, not people who like Android. This is not a Droid. It's not. It's a pocket Surface. So that's our success ratio. That's our metric. And instead of playing this game of, I'm going to review it like every other phone and then declare the Fold some kind of arbitrary implied winner, completely, it does a disservice to a wider or broader tech conversation. I'm not sure I know many people that I would recommend a Duo to.
Especially not that price. And that's a heavy price point to lift. If that's at $800, that's a little dealable, but still, it's still niche. It's still niche. It doesn't matter.
Even there. So, because I completely agree with you. I'm not arguing with what you just said there, but I have already, since the LG V20, I have been trying to not travel with cameras and laptops to get my work done.
Right.
And my work is video production, so I'm still probably going to lean on LGs and Sonys, right? That's still going to be my bread and butter. But if your work is productivity, communication, spreadsheets, or even some basic graphics work, this at $1,400 is what you get on a plane with.
Right. And you're good.
Not a $1,400 phone and a $2,000 laptop. This right here can eclipse the need to travel with yet another multi-$1,000 computer. This is what you get on the plane with.
Right.
So that's the metric. I think we've kind of lost sight as techies that, we're going to have a phone and a tablet and a laptop, probably a desktop, some other gadgets, maybe a Chromebook, some family stuff, and a game console and a mini game console and a
Switch. Yeah.
No. You fire up xCloud when you get to your hotel room and you buy a cheap ass HDMI dongle and you play your Xbox games.
xCloud.
Founding
member.
Nerd. I love it.
I know, but the badge is so cool.
And even put it as a
of course I did. I'm proud of that.
And then bring yourself a little controller and you're ready to go.
I know more than anybody because I literally use my phone for this is the ROG2. I am literally using this for everything. It's my gaming machine. It is my media machine. It is my streaming machine. and it's fine. Like, I don't need a big everything, laptop, phone, to get everything done. This is more than enough to get all of it done.
Yeah.
And this is what I don't understand, why people think I need a laptop.
Especially after seeing how well that screen sharing worked as one larger display.
It was clean.
The original mission of the Surface was to blur the line between tablets and laptops. And I still feel like the first gen Surface Pro was a good execution of that then got better. And then as consumers understood what it was trying to do, they were more positive to the idea after those successive generations.
Right.
This could very well start blurring the lines between phones and laptops in a way that, you know, I've been trying to do through brute force. And I think LG deserves some credit for doing dual display and some of these funky experiments. But like, this is a premium version of this feel where a V60 might feel kind of chunky and a little unrefined or a little rough around the edges.
Right.
You're going to pay for it. But if you pay for it, the idea is you don't buy into an ecosystem of processors. You get to cut a processor out of your lineup, and that offsets the cost of why you're buying this premium phone.
Yeah, it's an, I mean, I said, I've and again, you know, I've only had it now for a few hours, but I just using it.
Full review.
I'm absolutely like, I don't know even what this, I don't have words to describe like how.
No, because it is just, it's like,
so
like Juan just said, it's laptop. It is a laptop in your hands. It is a laptop when you need a laptop, next up, secondary display, plug it into your TV, whatever.
Right.
And as we've just seen, it doesn't even need a desktop mode. It's just Windows. So
I do kind of want to see, like, if I pull up a keyboard, because
as a productivity machine, it is the number one.
I don't know.
Oh, but the Fold's got DeX.
No, so I mean, like, again,
I like DeX.
I'm not the biggest fan of Samsung.
DeX is awesome.
Criminally undervalued feature from Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Samsung won't really give us the hardware to do great with
What
DeX.
do you mean? Bixby was awesome.
No, I mean, like, you take Samsung's awesome laptop division and you give us a Note laptop dock. And you think about how gorgeous that would be. And since the Note 9, our phones have been crazy OP for getting general computing done. And that combination would, I mean, it would have destroyed this huge chunk of the consumer laptop market. And then suddenly all the YouTubers would have gotten it. They would have been
But what I don't want
need to buy a $2,000 Samsung laptop because I have a Note 9 and a $300 laptop dock. Like, trying to spell this out when so many people write off the extra functionality of our phones and act like all we do is just check text messages has been the hardest hurdle to get geeks over. I show my family and friends and they are not techies and they're like, oh yeah, that would be really nice. And then I go and show the nerds and they're like, oh, but people don't do things with their phones. And you just like want to shake them until like they listen to reason.
I can tell you right now, my best barometer that this was okay was when we were at the AT&T store and doing it, and Becky looked at it. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, I could. That's kind of cool. I could see that. Like other phones, she just kind of blows like, oh, it's just another phone. It's just another phone. And she saw me playing with it and doing screens. She's like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see it's kind of cool.
I've just got this feeling that what we just did there was plug it in and show it off in, we say desktop mode because it is effectively. That's going to get overlooked. No one's going to look at that. They're going to compare it. The point I was making with it's not DeX is people will always compare it to DeX. Yeah. But it's not DeX. DeX does this. DeX does that. You know, like, yes, DeX is really good. There is no arguing DeX is good. But comparing everything to DeX is just going to kill everything else off.
Well, and like I said,
it's not what we want.
I would be more complimentary to that if I felt Samsung were living up to the claims that they make with decks, and I don't see where you can until you give us good hardware. Yeah. Oh, and Mr.
Yes, but
you have I think a super sticker I saw in there.
The honest,
buddy, really appreciate
the honest comparison I can see coming is going to be Microsoft Duo versus Galaxy Fold, and everyone is going to moan about, but the Surface Duo doesn't have an outside display and its battery's not very good. They're the two things that I can see most people complaining about.
And the software is half-baked, right? And
I honestly don't even think that people are going to go after the software. I genuinely think this, it's not got an outside display. What am I supposed to do? Battery's not very good. It only lasted me 4 days.
I bet you they're going after software from like the embargo week reviews, right? Before a bunch of updates hit.
Yeah,
which in a way, Microsoft, like, I was curious to why Microsoft would do something like that, but keeping the software under wraps whilst they were fixing the tweaks kept people from being negative about it. So yeah, which is what you said to me.
Yeah. So I mean, like, look at like day one of all of the early videos where you couldn't turn the screen on, and like the numbers on those videos are higher than the second wave of review videos. Microsoft absolutely played this game. Absolutely crushed it. It's hilarious.
They played and won the YouTube algorithm.
And this is what happens if we're going to let YouTube decide all of this algorithm nonsense, and this is what's going to keep messing us up.
Then we're going to get more boring unboxing videos of people not turning on phones.
Oh, yeah. Any other company saw.
I can't wait.
And doesn't put like a huge restriction on their next round of embargoes, then they've completely missed it.
And I can't wait to watch these unboxings.
Crazy embargoes because of that.
Yeah, it's going to be such good content. Like, ooh, this box has got nothing in it because they're taking everything out of these boxes. So what unboxing video is just going to be, you're going to open the box, there's the phone, that's it. See you next time.
So I don't think I can get my Surface to connect to my next dock. It's not registering. So I'm gonna have to see if there's like another setting I need to dig into for the extra display. Oh, that's going to be a big demerit, Microsoft.
That's it. I'm sorry, but that's just not Dex. See?
You could have been great. Better luck next year.
Could have been.
Maybe Gen 3. Maybe
you should have got a Samsung or a Huawei. You want desktop modes, they're the way to go. Because LG don't exist. We got to forget. They don't exist. Pixels don't support the output. So
how silly this is, that I'm just happy I've got a phone that when I lay it flat on a table doesn't have any like loppy rocker because of a camera module.
I was going to say no wobble.
It's nice.
No wobble.
So
flat
that means when you have it flat and you need to use the pen, the thing that it's designed for, it's going to work and not wobble all over the place like a certain other phone that you can't write a word on because it suddenly tilts one way and your sort of pen goes up to the top.
Well, I'm not trying to besmirch my precious LG shillery here.
What? LG shill? I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Never heard of such thing.
I've never heard such a thing in my life.
So this is just beautiful. Like, it just sits on the table and like it's pretty.
You're just showing off all the things I can't buy in the UK.
But then you open this and you get that weird like angled side as one part of the screen just kind of like and flops over, and then you've got like a flat surface and then an angled surface. So I'm definitely gonna like this better for just being something that you can interact with on a desk or a flat surface. Like, again, it's just those little pretty attentions to details are like what you were saying, Matt. We have to overlook those because perks like that come with other compromises. You know, if we make this perfectly level and flat and thin and it fits in your pocket, well, we don't have room to put in a 108 megapixel camera sensor. We just can't do it. And you're going to find all of these commentaries that the implied winner, it's not like I'm reviewing the Surface. It's I'm telling you not to buy the Surface. And that's what the tone of the video is going to be. Yeah. And it's not fun when the game's that obvious.
Simon says Hypno's quite good. He says in 2021, I was wrong. Surface Duo is actually much gooder than I did thinks. Because that's something one would say. That's one sarcasm right there. It's gooder than me did thinks.
Oh, I mean, now that I actually tried using it for more than a week under pre-embargo software, it's actually much more elegant than I thought it was.
Like I said earlier, who knew looking back on phones would be a good idea?
It's all of the videos from the original Surface Pro that comes out, Windows 8, what a failure. Microsoft doesn't know what they're doing, conveyance, who could use this? And just before the Surface 2 came out, well, wouldn't you know it? I went back and I tried using it again, and it's much better than I thought it was. And you're like, stop playing that game. That game is obvious, lame.
You search on YouTube for long-term or 6 month or a year later videos. They're rare, really rare.
Yeah. Well, YouTube punishes your channel for not being timely. Like it hurts whenever I do a long-term video. It's
all about the algorithm rather than the consumer helpfulnul.
Like Aditya has the right idea. In my Duo versus Fold 2 video, hands down.
Do you know what? That great comment success right there is YouTube. That is what this next month or so, that is what's going to be coming up.
Yeah, and in the couple of videos I saw today, they were already almost like they're preloaded to be like, you shouldn't buy the Duo. You shouldn't buy it. It's pre-gen software. You should not. It's like anybody who's buying it, it's either there's not many people on the fence, right? It's either you're like me. I was getting it no matter what. I was like, I didn't care what it was. It was like
you were all in.
Or I was all in because I'm a Surface fan. I'm a former Windows fan, Windows Phone fan, and I've been following this. If you're a Windows Phone guy, you've heard about the Surface device, the Surface Phone, for 6 years, and now it's like here it was, right?
And that's you. That's for you. That's nobody can tell you that that's not for you.
But I mean, but I also realized too that I knew that with it's first gen
squares, like the old live tile arrangement.
They're trying to channel that old school.
That's
goodness
for you. That's what I mean. And no one can tell you that it's not. No, you shouldn't buy it because it's not this and it's not that. They don't know what you like. Who buys gaming phones? Like seriously, who buys game? Like not many people I know buys gaming phones. That's me. You are Duos.
It's like it's so smooth when you rub it against your face.
Guys. No. Just hello.
Well, hey, look, you know you were going to be on the stream and you were going to be Sans device. I'm sorry about that.
When I get my ROG3, I will rub that on my face.
I'm so sorry you came to a Duo fight.
Right.
I came to a Duo fight with a Nord and a ROG 2. And no, to be fair, and an incoming ROG3.
But this is what I'm increasingly intellectually curious about is this continued conversation where the implication is you have a phone and a bunch of other computers, because that to me seems to be the tech reviewer commentary is, well, you're not going to give up your laptop and you're not going to give up your tablet and you probably still have a desktop. So why buy a $1,000 phone? You shouldn't buy a $1,400 phone unless it comes from something that's going to do really well for ad revenue on my channel. But what do you do on a phone? Because if you're just trying to cover these perceived average consumer basics, iPhone SE, Pixel 4a, like those phones are monsters for getting that kind of stuff.
That Pixel 4a is so good value.
So good. So when I want to get on an airplane again and I don't want to travel with a laptop and I've got my cute little stylus and my cute, again, I'm really shilling here. This is my Microsoft folding Bluetooth keyboard. I've had this thing for years. I've punched out.
I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is.
When I can get on a plane and not have a laptop on that rinky-dink folding tray and still have a beverage next to my Surface Duo while I punch out a script and watch a movie at the same time.
No, don't put a beverage next to it. It's not water resistant.
I'm still doing it. Oh, I'm still gonna go. When I can do that, when I can travel, and this is what I get on a plane with, and I don't. When I traveled to Computex, I didn't bring a laptop. Last time I went to CES, not this last CES, but the CES before, I didn't travel with a laptop. I left my laptop at home. This is what I'm going to get on the plane with. And I'm still going to be just as productive for getting what I need to get done. This to me is huge. Like, and again, I'm saying in general, not necessarily specifically Surface, but there's a good reason for why you might want to travel with $1,000 OnePlus. There's a good reason why a fully kitted out V60 might make some sense. There's a very good reason why you might want to leave the house only with a Note 20, and not a Note 20, Note 20 Ultra, because that should displace your need to buy other processors. Like, you really shouldn't need to buy other processors in the whole spectrum of screen sizes. You can now just go from little screen to the biggest screen and kind of cut out all of the intermediary processors along the way.
Right.
That's it. That is exactly it. And I will say it's going to be a lot easier to get your work done and not have to pack up. And if you find yourself in a situation where you need to quickly get things done, you've got to get your Surface Duo out of your pocket. That's it.
Oh, I mean,
do your bit.
Even here at home. So, like, our condo's a little on the smaller side. I mean, when we moved to this new school district, we had to move to a smaller place than where we were living before. And so now my living room is my wife's office and my daughter's school.
Right.
And there are times we just need to tag team. Like, my daughter's not yet 5. So doing Zoom calls, you can tell she's very, very attentive and always very mature and sitting perfectly still. Not at all.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So when I can go out into our dining room, which is the last space to sit at where we don't have some kind of space occupied, and I still need to get some writing done, and all I need to do is set this up, and I can still stream a movie. I'll have one earbud in with some Bluetooth earbud, since the Surface dongle kind of blows, and still be productive and not have to worry about like bringing out a laptop and plugging in a charger and doing all this other mess. Like, even that becomes a pretty serious argument for, in the home, why this should start displacing some of our other medium-sized screens. All right, let's look through any of these comments. Anyone saying anything good or any questions?
Tons of good stuff.
I think Aditi is taking the mickey out of Sam.
He lives to mess with me. Yeah.
He said the S in Sam stands for Surface Shill.
So BW1, some of us can't fit much on the plane seat tray no matter what. Tall guy problems. I feel you, dude. And Matt, I have to imagine that like traveling is never fun anyway.
Dude.
So minimize
being 6'5" is planes are a not that no.
So nope. So here's the secret that no one wants to really speak up. I'm 5'8". Everything is built for me. Everything. I'm statistically just under average for height. Everything is made for me. The back seat of tiny economy cars. I fit fine. Cupboards and shelves and doors. It's all for me.
Right.
It's all perfect for me.
Definitely
with one in mind.
Hey, listen, no one cares.
See, so and this, I mean, like those of you out there who are picking up phones like the Note, picking up phones like the V series from LG. Again, I get real cranky about my personal experiences with Samsung have been kind of poor over the last couple of years, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. When he says I have a MacBook Pro that I didn't carry with me around work, I use my Note 9 for presentations and SSHing into my servers via DeX when not at my desk, phone and keyboard. I'm telling you, there is so much functionality. There is so much raw power that people are not tapping into. And it's all this perceived like screen size. And it's not the screen size. I'm telling you, this is a monster powerful pocket computer, even though it's last generation's chipset. Wah. There is so much compute power that none of those other reviewers
I forgot about that.
Scratching.
Well, it's okay. I had my lip stuck out like I used to do. My mom said, "A bird's going to shit on your lip if you do that."
You look, as I say, with that comment up, you just look like a head.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, we kind of cut you off.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But like I said, it's just like, okay, well, so you're already complaining about a $1,400 price point, but you put an 865 in there with that battery, and now you're at a $1,700 price point, and it's who cares?
How much more powerful is the 865?
It's a specious argument on a on a spec sheet, and it doesn't matter because
what's in the Nord? I can't remember the 765G.
765G, isn't it?
See, everyone says the Nord is more than powerful enough to do everything on there. Pretty sure the 855 is more powerful than the 765G.
It's a little complicated. So I've been doing those by the benchmarks videos, and I'm going to be doing one on the Duo.
Good videos, by the way. Good stuff. Yeah.
I've learned a lot.
Duo is going to fall behind OnePlus and LG and all of these 865 phones. I don't think anyone's going to be shocked by that.
Right.
What I have found so interesting, though, is one, the heavier your custom code is, the more of an impact it has on performance. So Samsung might have this beastie, huge, powerful hardware, and they might benchmark like crazy, but then you've got a ton of services that run on top of their skin, which runs on top of Android. So there's a lot more going on that's kind of sucking up those compute cycles. Same thing with LG. And LG doesn't even really benchmark that great for an 865, but then you can get them into singular tasks and they might perform better in some tasks, and then they won't perform as well in others. What I've seen from the 765s is that they still struggle to keep pace with the Snapdragon 845s when you really run them through real world usage.
Testing, usage.
Yeah, I mean, beyond just a Geekbench score.
Right, actually using the devices.
But this is what I don't understand, because people who are saying the 765G is more than powerful for your day-to-day stuff and your gaming and blah, 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 they're the same people that are saying the 855 in the Duo is not good enough for this year's stuff. And you're like,
but wait, this is why Microsoft Play was so genius, because the part of the cost of this phone is engineering something this fanatically thin, and the extra software code. Again, people don't ever put a financial value on software, and Pixel owners, people who like Pixels, understand software costs money. That's why they like Pixels, is because you want the good softwares. So what Microsoft
Pixel's not even that good anymore.
No, but sorry, let me just finish the point. Then we can shit talk what I was going to say. But the point being, Microsoft's Play in forcing the first round of videos to talk about the engineering of the Hinge is something that they would have written off. Look at all the reviews.
Oh yeah.
Well, it is nice, but $1,400 and it doesn't have a Snapdragon 865. And yet none of those reviewers can show me why or what the perceived differences would be.
Right.
Like I can show you, I'm going to do a whole bunch of 4K video rendering tests. I render 4K video on my phones. If you don't, something tells me you'll be fine a performance tier under than what I need. And I'm telling you, I would be able to get my work done on a Snapdragon 845, just a little less fast.
Right.
It wouldn't hold me back at all.
Didn't the Z Flip come out with the 855?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was good enough.
No, $1,300.
Oh,
yes.
That's the same.
I'm not sure. I'm right in that ballpark. It might have been right at the. Well, here's like, is it good? Yeah. Is it $1,400 good hardware?
That depends who you are.
Well, again, it's
what is $1,400 good to you compared to me? Like,
right. And Jim, I love Jim's point. He just does spreadsheets on the phone all the time. Can you imagine having it where you can just boot up? Now you have spreadsheets right here, and it's already integrated into the software. So you know that Microsoft is going to take its Excel, its PowerPoint, its Outlook, its suite of services, and customize it for this phone.
How nice would a Microsoft version of wireless DeX be?
Oh man!
Like you're doing
on the old Board at Work podcast was me and my Hobbit hands.
Oh,
but I gotta say, like, I'm back to having my V60, my SIM card's back in my V60, so I've been riding the huge phone train again. I got to tell you, it's so refreshing picking up a Pixel. But I mean, like, I'm really picking these up, and Duo is going to be so much easier for me to handle. I am going to be a little sad to miss some of that advanced split screening stuff, though. I mean, I love having a taller screen for kind of organizing some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll say, bringing back to Sam's point about PowerPoint, Excel, and using it to spreadsheets and for say in working environments, because Microsoft and Samsung work together anyway, a wireless version of what you showed off earlier would be that you, for a practical point of view, that would be beyond incredible for people at work and
for sure
doing PowerPoints and all that kind of stuff.
Here's an interesting one as a thought exercise, and folks in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too, because I like this point from Warren. We're concerned about the price on the Duo using last generation chipset, kind of ignoring all of the engineering and development costs that go into making a radically thin hinge. What would you say, especially Sam, having played with this? BW1 Warren saying, I'd like to see the Surface Duo come with a 765 5G version. So if we're going to go 5G instead of necessarily pushing to the most expensive chipset, knowing that the price on the 875 is going to be even higher than the 865 was this year. What do you think? I mean, like, same premium build, kind of make a Velvet play where the phone feels a lot nicer, even if it's not quite as powerful.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I honestly think that the long play with this isn't just to have one device. You know, look at the Surface line itself. I mean, you've got a Surface Book and a Surface Go and a Surface Pro 4. I mean, you've got other variations on that Surface. And why would you not want to think about it in those terms with this? Because if this is a true Surface device, which it is, it would have its own branching eventually. At some point when this gets traction, they may have a Surface Duo 2 and a 2S, or a Surface Duo Go, right? Where it's more of a 765, where right up where he's describing. I don't honestly think that this will only be the only Surface Duo version at some point. I think they will come out with some kind of just organic development of the way Surface goes. I mean, look at, they have the Surface, and you have the Surface Hub, right? It ain't just even that. You go crazy, right?
Surface isn't just one device; it's an entire thing. So I mean, like you say, branching out for them could be quite good. I
mean, this is just. I mean, I honestly do not believe that they're just going to stick with the Duo 2, and that's just going to be a Duo 2. I really think that there's going to be, if there is enough, that they will have variants that are more affordable, or different kinds of approaches to the same Surface Duo line. Well, look at the Neo. Essentially, the counterpoint, which is still delayed, right? So I agree. I think that 765 would, for next year's device, or a 775 or whatever that new lower.
Or actually, David Burns saying switch it over to MediaTek, because I just heard. I got to throw a huge shout out to Ask Des at T-Mobile.
Cool.
He got me in touch with one of the T-Mobile PR reps, and they're going to send over a T-Mobile Velvet for me to check out the Dimensity, which again is going to be in this ballpark for power.
So that's the most powerful MediaTek chip they've made, isn't it? That's in that Velvet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm very curious. I'm very excited to see. Real quick, I'm rebooting my Duo to see if I turned on the desktop mode.
Okay.
Oh, so you did it the way that we used to do it on OnePlus phones.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I doubt that this is going to be,
because it wasn't a good experience.
If it's Android, it's probably going to be the lame desktop mode, because I really feel Microsoft is saying, don't worry about going into developer modes. The normal operation for this looks like
that
a good desktop mode.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be that vanilla. Doesn't really freaks out when it tries to resize certain apps, and it just it doesn't know what it's doing.
Do anything with it. Let's screen. Let me switch over, and I don't know if this is. Oh no, it's just giving me the same UI. Oh wait.
Just plug it into the next dock.
No, I'm moving things around. It's not.
Oh.
It's not showing anything.
Right.
So desktop mode is on, but the Microsoft launcher is forcing the screen over the top.
I'm going to try and connect a Bluetooth mouse just to see if I can get it to show up on the desktop mode.
Okay.
So you guys don't get my beautiful face here, but
that's fine.
I'm gonna try and make a love connection here.
Awesome.
Whoa,
Andrew,
2 and 2, right back at you. 2 and 2.
that produce. I lost the comment, but he was saying you guys should have Warren on Across the Podcast. So Warren, BW1, I'm kind of putting you on the spot because Matt and Sam are very
BW1.
good
You should totally be on the stuff, but yeah.
And I think you all would have a very good time chatting about tech. So I think you should all work together and talk off when this stream is done.
Absolutely.
To get him on.
I'll do my PR.
But yeah, I think you guys would have a really fun chat. All right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm pairing the mouse.
We're very fun people.
And now
I am.
It just turned off the screen share. Is that what it did?
Yeah.
I don't
it's completely black.
All right.
I can see that. I can see the mouse, the cursor.
And now I'm gonna re-log in. And now let's see.
We're doing it live, people. Doing it live.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this is gonna do.
Hashtag no edits.
Hashtag let it fly.
Let it rip, right?
More Flossy Carter stuff.
Yeah, just
Let's keep it
man.
going.
Crashed it.
Uh-oh. You crashed it. Good job, Chief.
Yeah, it did not like that at all.
Ooh, we're on the lock screen for the desktop mode.
Your Surface is crabby. It broke you off something proper. It said, nah, screw that. I'm crashing on you.
That was kind of interesting. I was kind of hoping that it would. All right, let's see. Nope. Nada. All right, I'm just going to get out of this view.
Yeah, don't break your phone. Full review doesn't work.
That's it. I'm done with it. It's getting shipped away. I'm throwing it out.
Sending it back.
Now I need a $1,400
coaster. There you go.
I say I'm going back to Apple.
There's what it's for.
And take your dongle with you.
There you go. That's $1,400 right there. That's what it's good for, Chief. Just place the rest of October.
Because just to remind everybody,
don't do that. I've said before.
Is the Surface Duo dongle? Don't buy this.
Don't no.
I think he
don't buy it. Like, don't even give him your money.
I do kind of like. Oh wait, what side?
I think it's. Yeah.
Is it magnesized? Magnesized? Words escape me.
Yeah,
words are hard. Oh. I do words for a living, and doing the words is not easy.
Magnesized.
That's kind of funky.
Don't you start.
Really that's kind of cool.
It's all right.
Magnetized.
It's like magnetic. Does have a magnetic.
I am British.
We know
this is very fair of God, I keep losing the comments. This is going by. This is very fair of Yunez.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Don't
worry, guys. It's still pre-release software.
That's cool.
I don't think I really don't believe Microsoft is going to utilize Google's backbone for desktop mode. The second I saw how it used that larger display all on its own,
that was pretty sweet.
So much better.
Yeah, they have got to build them on themselves. But like I said, even if they do use Samsung for advice on how to build their own version, it could work, because taking advice from the company that made DeX is probably the best way Microsoft could go.
Do you know like how much insight Microsoft got by using that whole Your Phone partnership?
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, that's insane. And I'm sure it has absolutely contributed to them kind of shortening this lead on all of these really cute and pretty UI elements. Like when your home screens start like sliding back and forth between multiple displays, it has a very organic feel. Whereas like LG, everything is so deliberate because you have two different phones. You don't have one phone. You've got two distinct, you have right phone and left phone on an LG.
Right.
And that does not feel like the Duo. The Duo feels like one continuous experience that slides back and forth as you need it.
Yeah. I haven't even set up the pairs or anything like that yet. I was going to get started on that because I was just like, the app pairs look pretty cool. So like I said, again, is it perfect? No. Is it perfect for me for what I want to do? And am I excited? The answer is yeah. It's perfect for me right now.
It's perfect for you. They're the words. That's it. That's all. It's perfect for you.
And I'll tell you what I also like about the bumper, and this is just one of those little like kind of Juan talks about these style things, right? It's we talk about when you're picking out a phone, there's not a physical cue to where the scanners are right. Mm-hmm. When you have the thing, it has a little cutout, so your thumb just goes right into that spot, and it just works. That. Yeah, it's just it's a little cutout, a physical cutout. So your thumb and my thumb, it naturally just fits right into that groove. It's just like, and you don't get right in your pocket, right? Remember we always talk about that's was the cool part of having a rear scanner. You can reach in your pocket and you're already there. Well, now when you're opening up the phone, your thumb's already there. You just unlock it and bam, you're in the phone.
The scanner is pretty good.
So you keep moving around. Sweet. I think I am mostly interested in who and when third-party accessories, not necessarily glass screen protectors, obviously, because that's not going to work. Film screen protectors would probably be a good idea. I don't really know.
No, I think so.
And skins, obviously skins for the outside to protect the glass.
I'm really hoping we see some kind
of no sponsor.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any sponsors, but you guys can mention that company.
No, well, I can't really say it because we're not getting the Duo in the UK, so they can't get their hands on one, so they can't make one until we get it made here.
Right. I will say, since that's the reason why I did order the D brand skin, and it's like a pre-order, so I have.
Yeah, you can say that here.
Right. But it's still not sponsored by D brand. But the thing that I want to see is I actually do kind of like the experience of moving to a matte finish screen protector, plastic screen protector, not a glass one, when you're using a stylus. Because I like that, just that slightly different kind of texture.
Almost like a piece of paper. It has to. That was the problem when I was writing. That was always the problem when I had my Surface Book, when I was writing it in classes, when I was writing notes in class, because it didn't have that kind of resistance. It almost felt disconnected. So I liked having a little bit of a little texture there, because it gives you some resistance. It almost feels like really writing on the surface.
I can totally understand that.
No,
for swiping over the screen with my fingertips, but. It feels so much nicer when you pick up, like you've got your Wacom and you go to town with controlling it that way with a pen. That I do kind of like. So I'd be very surprised if Super Shields didn't come out with a matte finish custom cut.
I used to use if you've ever used a Note. So I use Skinomi. I've had those before, those little plastic ones you spray.
The too.
Skinomis are pretty good, and they usually have a pretty wide selection of
I had Skinomi on the ROG 2. That's the only time I've ever used them. The one that I sent to Juan had the Skinomi on it.
And Michael just uses his phone naked.
Yeah.
Get out.
I don't know what that has. No, screen protectors. I miss it. Was
he goes new.
But if you've ever used a Note phone, especially these new ones, where the glass screen protector doesn't work with the fingerprint scanner, so you have to go plastic, but then you use the S Pen on the plastic screen protector, and then all of a sudden you've got all these lines all over the place.
Again, it is not as nice on your fingertips, and I'm terrible at putting these on. So you can I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there are all these little dots,
bubbles,
and bubbles, and I got like stuff under it, and it's all smudged up, and
it's
lined up like crazy because of me using a stylus on it.
Yeah,
but I like the feel of using the stylus on that better. Yeah. And then it is affording it just that teeny little bit of protection from potential scratches. It's not much, but I'm still going to prefer that, a smudgy, scratched up screen protector, over rocking a phone with.
I will give you it's a trick I use, because I apply lots of screen protectors and skins, extreme skins and stuff. The boiling water. Apply a screen protector or a skin next to boiling water, because the steam removes the dust. And I was like, that's so simple, but that's so ever since then, I have never had a bubble under a screen protector.
And then Simon was asking a question, Juan, about the pocketability. Like, does it fit in your pockets? Yeah, I have a pair of basketball shorts. Yeah, and it fits fine. Now, I don't wear jeans very often. And now that I'm not, the problem for me is going to be is since I'm not going into the office anymore until like, I'm wearing more like business casual kind of stuff. I will be able to kind of tell then. But yeah, I did notice that the bumper,
can I do my jokey spiel?
Please.
I mean, I already did the salty Juan being an arse spiel. Okay. I just want to do it one more time.
He's not mentioned the razors and it feels good in the hands yet, so we'll wait for that.
So remember, Simon says, Hypno, this is unprecedented. We've never seen a phone this wide or in this kind of rectangular form factor before. I mean, this has just never happened.
Passport.
Any other phone has been kind of a wide rectangle. This has
never heard of a passport. Sorry.
It's absolutely not something that we've ever tried to put into a pocket or a purse because it's just so broad and you could never use it one-handed.
Get the Lumia again.
See where even on like a V60 where it just kind of peeks out from behind a V60, like the width of this is absolutely the worst problem in the world for a savvy tech user because like no one would be able to carry this. It's impossible. Like you have to kind of like gesture with your hands like you're in an infomercial. It's like, how do hands even work? I mean, I can't even figure this out. It's impossible.
These digits, they don't wrap. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I were an evolved primate with like opposable thumbs because this doesn't.
No, you're holding it wrong.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, to be not snarky for time, I put it in my pocket. It was fine. You like I said, really what you'll notice more is if Juan, you've holding it now, it's 250 grams. I mean, there is it's some significant weight to it. I think it's like 20 grams heavier than a iPhone 11 Pro Max. So that's what you're going to notice is more about the density and the weight of it, not necessarily the form factor. I mean, you will feel that, but it's
so what you're saying is that a device made to be small and fold and pocketable fits in your pocket.
Right.
I don't know.
I can't imagine that nobody around
You have got to have a pouch, put it on your belt, and then put a padlock on the outside.
So here's one of the things that I'm actually really looking forward to is, like I said, my main SIM is currently back in my V60 for just a little bit. This is a back pocket phone for me. Like if I'm wearing some Levi 501s or even just some like basketball shorts, like it doesn't really fit in a front pocket for if I wear clothes that fit.
Right.
And so the width, like you were saying, Sam, the width really isn't the issue. It's that this is a wide and tall and thick and heavy gadget.
Right.
So I can handle one of those. I can handle width because I'm not having to do tall and thick and bulky and heavy. Wide is fine in one direction. And I really do think, I think this is going to be probably not first gen. As the Surface Pro kind of evolves, it's like a number of my family members are on Surface Pros and Surface laptops. I think this is going to be a really solid option as a purse phone.
Oh yeah,
I think there's going to be something really interesting for some of those people who like wallet cases. A lot of women I know have like wallets and folios and stuff like that. Now, unfortunately,
I will show my missus that and the kids and see what they say. They've not actually seen the Duo yet. So
it's tough because it's the same problem that BlackBerry had. Is you got to kind of pick it up and try putting it into your current purse and pocket before you get a feel for whether or not it might work. Right. $1,400, that's a steep experiment to try something that you might not like. And we don't have Microsoft stores here anymore that you can go and poke it around. So you've got to go and stomp through a Best Buy.
But for less than $1,400, I could fly over to Sam's, play with it, and fly back, and then wait. Well, no, and then wait.
Like that. Fly over to Sam's and play with it. What? No,
no. But what I mean is, I could fly over to you, play with the Duo, fly home, and then save up enough money by the time they release it in the UK to buy one.
There you go.
So, and I've only spent about £500 at this point.
There you go.
Beautiful. I mean, really, that is the most cost-effective way to test drive a Duo if you want next to a Best Buy here in the United States. I got to throw this out to Ali. What we all need are just those Rob Liefeld pouches all over. Like I need just belt packs and fanny packs and shoulder straps and little individual pouches that I'm not sure what go in them.
That's a good
We have the man bags, so you just put it in your man bag.
So yeah, I mean, my first impression.
I don't know if man bags are a thing in America.
Yeah, I do kind of want to. Want to start wrapping this up, but you know, Aditya Anil saying, "Is that an LG V60 with a dual screen case in your pocket, or are you just excited to see me?" Yolanda,
always Aditya, always.
Jeans are Levi Strauss. I live in 501s, but it makes being a gadget reviewer of the largest gadgets a bit problematic as a dude. And why I like phones like the iPhone SE and the iPhone SE 2020 and the Pixel 4a.
Right.
So that definitely helps.
The original iPhone SE, you can't beat that one. That's just a tiny little thing.
I love my original SE.
In today's world, that is a tablet.
Okay, so here's the teaser of a video that I'm going to be coming out with. Now that the Duo's here, is I don't know about you guys. I am so tired of this BS tech conversation that only categorizes loosely by price. And then we use very inaccurate words like flagship and mid-ranger and entry level to describe all phones.
And budget
device.
Budget
device. And budget could mean mid-ranger or it could
be high-end mid-ranger.
A little too ubiquitous. I don't like budget.
Premium mid-ranger.
Premium mid-ranger, yeah.
It can't hurt your feelings if you didn't spend $1,000. If you only spent $700, you're still premium, but you're in the mid-range.
Unless you buy other companies, then you spend $700 and get a flagship.
Yeah, which is... So I'm going to be reaching out to some other tech reviewers and some friends. What I'd really like for us to start doing are classifying phones by their intended use and then looking at the price spectrum in there. So a productivity phone to me means having some special hardware that helps you produce. So a Note is a productivity phone, whereas a Galaxy S20 is more of an all-rounder, right?
Right.
A dual screen device or a folding screen device probably should be separate categories. Right. I kind of feel productivity leans more towards dual screen, and entertainment and content consumption line up more with folding because they're a little bit more fragile. And so what I really want us to start doing is saying, like, you know, you don't have a budget entry level cheap phone. You've got a communicator. Smaller screen, smaller batteries, tiny short form interactions. The iPhone SE makes so much sense. Right. Like it really does not get better than an iPhone SE if the majority of what you do is instant messaging, some type of messaging, iMessage, text communications, emails at a glance, and being able to unlock and see your phone screen through a thumbprint on the front of the phone. Like that interaction is so streamlined now. It is the fastest way to get an at a glance look at what's going on. Right. That's a communicator. A communicator isn't going to be as good as a content consuming phone with a huge screen and a huge battery and a great, great speakers and all this other stuff. And that to me needs to be the future of how we talk about these types of gadgets. Because what we're doing now is conflating everything so that only one or two phones can win, but then everyone else who might have a slightly different concern or slightly different wants or different capabilities, all of these get kind of pushed to the side so that we can only have the most popular conversation.
Right.
I do feel that as well, because a lot of times, because like obviously here, UK creators aren't going to have the creator phones, like the productivity phones, like the dual screens, and because we can't get hold of them unless you import, then you have to pay VAT and tax, and price, it's just not warranted. But then again, on the flip side, in the USA, creators aren't getting phones like Realme, and because it's a bit of a backwards kind of thing.
Is kind of getting locked up. Like only 2 or 3 players can really win in any region, and it's making it all a lot more boring.
Realme are winning. They should be winning here from what price and performance, but I don't get it. But like the new, I'll bring up the new Poco X3. Stupid name NFC. Like,
well, what
that phone is 199 euros. 199 euros. But that's an early bird price, so it will be 249. Not standard price, but even at 249 standard price, 120 hertz screen. It's over 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Blah 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 blah. Shill. Specs. What we want to see is performance. That phone on paper should be, again, another phone for people who want an all-rounder, but at 199 or 250, whatever you wear.
And again, that's why I feel like if we were talking about sort of a different stratification of functionality, then per function, you would talk about price. So, that's a phone that might exist in the same function as a Galaxy S20.
Yeah.
And you can legitimately talk about
fold.
But not the Fold, or not the Note, or not a Duo, or not a V60. V60 and Velvet would
different machine.
Be probably in different categories for all that. And Aditya Nil says I'm right. So basically, I'm the most correct I think I could ever be is getting his official seal of approval. So I think
there's some confirmation bias.
See, like you say as well, like LG and the Surface Duo. Sure. Again, I'd hesitate to compare them two together. Because yes, they're both dual screens, but you got to be really careful how you do it, because one is a dual screen and one is a dual screen accessory. Yeah. So the software is going to be very different, because one's built with that in mind. One's built for maybe if you use it, maybe you won't. It doesn't matter.
And it's funny too, because we're going to be wrapping this stream up, and
it's like sitting around 1:30 in the morning
right now. But the other thing that kind of gets into that is like, I don't think people really fully appreciate all of the crazy technology that goes into making some of these experiments. Like if you look at, so Velvet just came out. T-Mobile's getting a different flavor of Velvet than most of the rest of the world and all the other carriers. And there was a really tidbit. There was a little interesting tidbit. No, this is interesting though. This is a little tidbit that MediaTek had to make a different flavor of the Dimensity 1000 to support dual display. And you're like, well, why would they need to do that? It should just be video out, right? It just connects to the USB port and you open it and it's got a screen. It turns out LG couldn't finagle all of this over USB-C. When you open up an LG and you've got these really good like pairings and you can use both screens in wide view, this is actually a wireless connection. It's a point-to-point wireless connection, and the only thing that you're going through the bottom here is for power. So if you try and use a USB extension cable to use the dual display, like separate from the phone, not in the case, it doesn't work. And you're like, those are the types of ridiculous engineering challenges that we've got to figure out when we're trying to make some of these experiments. And I don't think that ever really gets out there. Yeah. That's nuts.
No.
I mean, to solve a problem by going to 5G style point-to-point short wireless connections is insane.
Yeah.
To be able to build all of the circuitry that we need into these two tiny like hinge connecting points is a ludicrous engineering challenge.
Yeah, especially
all this comes into cost as well. Price of the phone, because of the engineering that's gone into it and what's in it. 1,400 sounds a lot, which it is. But they might be taking a slight profit, slight loss. We don't know, depending on how much each unit takes to make.
I feel we're very selective about being outraged at 1,400 when an iPhone 11 Pro Max with upgraded storage is like 1,250.
So, and there's the Notes 1,400, the new
we're
Moto.
Very concerned about price, and so we aren't, but then we are
until we're
not.
Until we're not. But the new Moto Razr is only $13.99.
Oh no, we're ending this. We're not getting new topics. But I do want to kind of come back to this, Sam. You've had a little bit more time. You've been playing around with this, not on camera, for a little longer than I have. I feel
the reviewer period.
Yes, our full review period, our long-term hands-on unboxing review comparisons with every phone on the planet, blah blah blah. This first impression has been overwhelmingly positive. A couple little gremlins that I'm concerned about. What have some of your sort of general thoughts been? What are the things that you think will stand up to the claims that Microsoft has been making, and what are some of the things where you feel like the phone might fall flat?
Well, like I said, just for having it for just the first few hours, I I just can't get over the hardware. I mean, that's basically, I mean, I think if you're wanting to have that, and I think where people are going to be amazed is when they're actually using the phone. And I'm not talking about just like for a week or two or a little bit here. I mean, I'm talking like, can you daily drive this, right? Is this a daily driver device? Because yeah, you're having an NFC. If you're a person like Matt, this may be a challenge for Matt because there's, mobile payments in the UK are huge. So on your device, that's not a possibility. So that means you have a watch or some other kind of solution for a mobile payment. So those are the things I think that are legitimate concerns. I mean, so I think it'll hold up fine if you are living inside the bubble of what this is designed to be. And if you're trying to push those boundaries, if you try to think, well, this is going to be the best camera experience. No. Is it going to be the most convenient because I can't just throw in a wireless charger? No. I mean, and we're looking at 2 years from now. If I keep this phone for 2 years, that 855 is starting to get a little longer in the tooth now at that 2 and 3 year point. Right. That's why I think Microsoft made a very important point about saying, hey, we're going to support this with software. And that's not just soft security patches. Okay. We are going to do bug fixes and squashing bugs and functionality. I mean, they're going to, because that's what they're going to use for the Duo 2, the Duo 3 or whatever. So I think where it's going to hold up real well is if you're going into this phone as a Microsoft fan, if you're into the productivity part, if you're already bought into the ecosystem of Microsoft services, I think this phone stands up. And also to your point with having the phone and a mouse and a little keyboard, right? And you could travel with it. And that that's something that can really streamline your day-to-day operational functionality of getting work done. This is perfect. If you try to leverage this into something that's a little bit more consumer focused or something that's an everyday person, yeah, it's going to start becoming a little bit harder to justify that because, but here's the thing. Have you ever had a phone where you thought you had an idea where it was going to be, and then all of a sudden 6 months in, it kind of metastasizes into a different way you're using the phone? It changes a bit, right? Things change. Your needs change.
A very visual word to use.
Oh, metastasize? Yeah, I know. I thought.
No, please.
My brain fell out. It's okay.
Your phones change, but also your needs change. And also you discover things that's I love how people make this argument. Oh, so Microsoft is forcing you to have to use a dual screen. They're trying to force you into doing it. No, but if you're seeing, like after using a dual screen on the G8, I was like, man, a dual screen really has purpose for what you're looking to do. And it opens up avenues of getting work and fun and content absorption and all that kind of thing. It changes the way you abuse. It becomes now this isn't just a phone. This is a communications device, a productivity tool, and also a content creation device too, depending on what you want. It opens up avenues, and that's what you want. You want your tech to push envelopes that you didn't even know existed. And that's, I think, where if you are open to experiences and open to things that are maybe new to you and ways to do your work, this can land really well. I think it's exactly what Panos is trying to get across. You don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. And now you know, wow, that's a thing. You never know if it's a thing until you discovered it.
Dude.
That was, so I just feel like the only thing lacking was from, like Panos weepily eyed talking about the power of the phone, emotion, the feels, power. So I feel like that kind of summed us up as beautifully as we should expect to get out of this live stream.
This has been long.
we really. I mean, but come on,
it's been fun.
You guys had to know.
Definitely
a live
been
stream
fun.
Of mine would be a very long-winded affair.
Yeah, but, it's been fun.
I'm very happy that I took this journey with you two. Again, we've had so many conversations about different weird form factors and being fans of dual screen and gaming phones and stuff like that. Where can folks watching this maybe catch one of your streams? Where's the best place to find you? And what are you guys going to be doing for your next conversation?
Matt?
Across the Podcast with Sam and Matt is YouTube and Twitch, and Sam and Matt 20 on Twitter because our actual name is too long. So we couldn't even do that. We stream on Sundays, 9 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. CST. We've got Andrew Fat Produce with us this Sunday, who's in the live chat. So we're going to be having some fun definitely this weekend. And get a bit more thoughts on Sam with the duo as well. because
Yeah.
we'll get a few days under the grease. So that's like 4 years in reviewer terms.
Yeah, today was your full review, and then for your stream,
that's going to be my look back
term.
How did this hold up over the last 4 days? How did it hold up? Did it hold up to all its expectations?
Did it get the expectation after the buzz wore off?
Yeah, 20. My video will be 20. Can you use a Surface Duo in September 2020? That'll be
I'm literally. I think I might be calling like I did with the Pixel 4a. Like, who was this
Andrew's pumped.
What can it even do?
Right.
I'm waiting for like the worst video titles I can come up with for this thing.
God, yeah. So if you want to check us out,
I reckon we could come up with one.
Yeah, Andrew's going to be pumped. We're excited to have him, and like I said,
definitely,
it's a great time. We don't always talk about just tech stuff. We ever let the conversation wherever it naturally organically goes. We let it go there.
Food.
It's a good time.
I'll put it out there again. I very much enjoy your weekend stream, so I hope everyone that's watching here is going to give you guys a view over on, because you co-stream on YouTube and Twitch.
It's on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, so
you're able to find them on either the streaming platform of your choice.
Right. And then what's happened is if you miss the show, that's okay too, because we realize that not everybody's going to stop what they're doing to listen to us, which you should, because duh. Right. And if you can't, the podcast is also available on Spotify and Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts, and I think even like Pocket Cast, I think, and stuff like that. So if you catch it later on, please give that a listen. Give us feedback. Trust me, you can tell me I suck, because we are not professionals. So it's okay. We're okay. I'm a big kid. Matt's a little bit more.
We are not professionals.
but we're two guys that really enjoy what we do, and we like talking tech, and it's really always a lot of
we
fun.
love it. Yeah,
and
we have fun.
And Ronald's right. Wait till my coworkers get to see the phone, because they're like, holy shit, they're not going to believe it. I sold a V60 to a guy, he bought a V60 based on my G8X because he saw the dual screen. He's like, wow, that's cool. And he went out and bought a V60 to upgrade.
I'm curious, when you go back to work, how many duos you'll sell to your colleagues.
Probably zero, but I honest to God, this would be something that as an enterprise device that we use iPhones now, I could see them using, especially with their integration with Office Teams and all the kind of stuff we're doing. This thing could be leveraged. Like, I could see senior executives at my company, like senior vice presidents, rocking this instead of using the current solutions that they're using, because of the way it's integrated to Microsoft, and they're all in on Microsoft productivity and Teams and all that stuff. I'm telling you, this could be a serious leverage. I think
you heard it here first, folks.
No, it's part of an ongoing conversation, and those are the things that I think we're all going to be taking a look at. Is like, beyond just what's the company phone, would this legitimately also help someone replace like a mobile tablet workflow kind of environment, having to issue a
I feel
that we're right on the cusp of pushing into that with some seriousness.
Sure.
That's it. I feel being the company phone is the hole that BlackBerry fell into.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where you don't want to be, because once you're in there, you're just a company phone.
You're not sexy.
But
you're not,
But for Matt and I, we really are very happy to be on your show. We have been fans for a long time. And it's been a great time. And please, you're always welcome to come on ours.
Coming soon.
Well,
soonish. I don't know when. We don't know when yet.
But I hope the invitation is also still
one. TK, me, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
We are. There's 4 of us, so it's a lot harder to sort out a date when all 4 of us are at the same time free.
But that to me will be one of the most funnest times on the internet that you can have, while you may or may not be wearing pants.
Well, that's it. We've had one on the show. We've had TK on. We've not had you on together. We've had you on separately, but not at the same time.
So that's what I'm saying, is we got to.
It's going to be good.
Absolutely.
Right, on that note, we're gonna put a pin in it. Thank you so much, everyone who stuck around, who watched through all this. I'm gonna have a lot more to say about Surface Duo as I actually use it, and not just in some weird embargo fashion. Like, be on the lookout for my by the benchmarks, so we can see some real world performance on how this terrible Snapdragon 855 is just so underperformant. And
get a 765G instead.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, of course. Get the new processor, which is less powerful. But then also some comparisons, some commentary, and then I'm planning a challenge with TK. So
Oh, yeah.
TK, he's ahead of me on his Note 20 Ultra coverage, and we really want to talk about phones that use styluses.
Styli?
So,
Styli?
Stylos?
I don't know.
Stylosies.
That's kind of a round robin as TK and I trade back and forth with some LGs, some Surfaces, and some Notes, because I feel like this is a very important category of extra performance, of extra productivity that we don't always focus on for our general all-rounder average consumer. Here's how the HDR photos look.
It would help if companies told you it had pen input, but still.
Yeah. That is always nice, but we figured it out. We did get there. So
yes, we did. Always.
Everyone, thanks so much. For myself personally, if you want to jump in, have a conversation, you can always catch me around social media, SomeGadgetGuy, or you might also consider checking out the Patreon, patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy, where we've got a rockin' Discord, a private Discord hooked up just for people on the Patreon, where I finally figured out how to add channels.
I know,
so it's not awesome. Just one vomit of a conversation with people talking over each other.
It's like a bucket of words, just a bucket of words, just dumping on your head. It's like Flashdance, where she's like the words are just.
You comment about something and then you come back 2 minutes later to see a reply and your comment's gone.
And it's just, that happens less now because
Yes.
So, you change and grow. It's good.
So, of course, all the rest of the social medias, you can catch me on the Twitters and the Twitch, podcasting. And I don't know why I even mention it anymore because I don't really use the Facebooks, but there is a SomeGadgetGuy Facebook page. You can catch that too. And on behalf of Sam and Matt and myself, test driving our two Surface duos here.
Sorry, Matt.
Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Be well. There's lots of craziness going on out in the world right now. My neighborhood looks like the apocalypse. So just stay safe out there. And hopefully we'll all get a chance to chat again about some cool tech stuff in the near future. Be well, everybody. I'll see you again on a future live stream.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Stay safe.